Good morning, happy people. Everything in this video is never financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. Everything is just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. I eat red crayons for breakfast. Trading in the markets carries substantial risks. Never trade more than you can afford to lose, and especially be aware against high leverage trading. Past performance is never indicative of future performance. All right, let's begin our chart room. These are some of the cryptos we're going to be looking at covered today. Let's look at USDT.D first. Okay, USDT.D, again, coming the other day, hitting our upper angle. And for that day, we hit the exact number, 4.55. Just by simply moving, not that one, our price track down along the angle. We can calculate what the maximum for that day should be, or approximately would still be, even though it's a maximum number, it would still be a bearish territory. Okay, now remember, for me, everything under this line is bearish, and is bearish for this chart, and that means it's bullish for the market, because when USDT.D goes down, prices move up. This line is established from years old. It's years old, and when we hit and we break to the underside, instead of bouncing on this line, here in this territory, back up there, it's telling me almost everything I need to know, that this is bullish for cryptos. So you can see that I wrote this word, bull run for cryptos. Okay, that was January. This was around November 16 when we got a solid close, the 21st. November 21st, we got a solid close, and I called it November 26th. I was traveling. I said, this is going to be some of the last good prices for many cryptos. And what happens is we came down. Now we hit our DP projection and bounced right back up, came down again, hit this area right here. This area, we came up again, came down, came up, came back down again, hit this angle, or very close to it, came up again, and this exact low we called on our website. We said we need to watch this specific close on the day of January 6th. It's a very important close. And at the time, we were still coming down just a little bit forward. I said, when we get this close, it's going to be determined what's going to happen next. If we stay right on the line, we're probably going to go up. But if we get a close below it, it's telling us we're primarily going to be looking to come down to this pink area here, and that's going to trigger another bull run for crypto. So we want to be careful watching this. So again, if we're looking at this, there's two times we're looking for good prices to enter cryptos. Number one, along this track. Those are some of the best prices along that track. That's the track I've given you for a few years now, or at least a year, along this angle. The only thing we did was adjust it slightly at the beginning of the month to account for a more minute angle at the beginning on the monthly chart, and which I showed you guys at the beginning of the month. We were talking about that slight adjustment, or at the end of December. So now we're looking for prices here to enter cryptos. We're looking to possibly take profit along these lines. We did stop there when we came back up one more time, and then prices came to another good place. So if we're looking to get in cryptos, these are the prices. Now, about a month ago, I told everybody I moved 75% of almost everything I have in every crypto, and I moved it into XDC and XCN. This has not been a secret. I've been telling you guys every few days when I discuss this chart, or when I discuss XRP or XDC. And the reason is because of all the pullbacks that USDT was doing, XRP and XDC sat down positively in their areas, which means they were in a territory that gave them a higher chance to move up. And I'm looking for the alignments. When these charts are pulled back, but XRP is still sitting positive, I want to be looking XRP. When these charts are still positive, I want to be looking XDC. Okay, so as long as this chart has not broken into this territory up here, which is bullish for this and bearish for the markets, I'm going to be very bullish XRP. Okay, now the reason I'm mentioning this is because we have our first sign of continuation that we're going down into the next sections, and that's going to be underneath this angle in white. Okay, so pay attention. Just like we had the discussions over the past few weeks, this area in white is a big tell. Now, what we're looking for, and is the same thing we were looking for that day. These two were over here. Okay, there was a bearish that is under here, and that would tell us that we're going down. If we can get some closes underneath this area in white, then we're looking to go down, and the markets are looking to come up. but we did not get the close. We just stayed right there. So therefore the market should maybe bounce, especially if we were to go to a smaller time frame, and you can see that a little bit more sharply. That few days, just that 3-day span, was bearish for crypto. But then when we hit here and we hit here and we came all the way back down, it's possible we're going to either came to the side, get stuck in these areas, come up to the vortex, which is still on the table, or even begin to come down and reject from this line. Okay, some of the clues that it might be the case is that when the volume is dried up from these areas on top, which the volume started to dry up pretty significantly even on the day of January 13th. Now today is the 18th, but on the 13th of January, the day we discussed when prices peaked all the way up to 4.55, the volume was very low specifically for that day. So it reached up into the sky and said, hey, there's no more market up there. So if the effort is to push prices down, here's that volume. It's a little high maybe for that day, but it's still not high comparatively for the macro. When we were hitting here and our volumes were way up here, when we were hitting here along that track and the volumes were way up here, this was the volumes. It was here, and not that one, and here. So the volumes were really high as we were in weakness. So if there was selling, it was telling us there's still a market. So when there's still a market, look for another challenge, look for another challenge, look for another challenge. When we came up here, the volume was still high, but it was starting to go in the right direction. There was still higher volume, look for one more challenge. And when there was one more challenge and the volume was low for that day, very low, although not like a no demand situation, it's a very good sign that they've absorbed the supply before their campaign. Now this only applies when there is a campaign to actively sell, okay, in an area of weakness. This is a campaign where the supply is being absorbed. This doesn't always apply to every single market, so I don't always look for those factors. But when we come to this final area or these final areas and the volume is dried up, that's a good sign that the market's possibly ready to move. Now at the time, it was my belief that USDT.D still has a little bit more time, but I'm already positioned with my XRP and XC. So I'm not really so much concerned about one more pullback, but it is possible, and it's still possible, 4.44. However, my big update for today is that because we got those closes now, underneath this white line, which is here, I am going to be bearish the market, okay? We already had everything we needed, large round structure underneath the areas of weakness in the larger story. In other words, if in the chart, I'm looking to be underneath these areas and I'm looking to come down, I'm watching for round structure in an area of weakness to denote that I'm going down, okay? In other words, the bigger move is that we are in a weak territory. So we're just waiting to strike, okay? We can strike here along that line, and we can also strike here underneath the existing trend. So if the existing smaller oscillation, as we zoom in, is underneath here, then once we get some closes, we can experience pullbacks, and then we can come down, or we can just straight come down. But most of the time, we get a pullback. Now, yesterday, I took a screenshot, and this is the screenshot that I took. And I'm going to show you. It was on my phone, and this is what I told Melody. I said, look now for a pullback tomorrow. She says, the market's going to go up. I say, well, you're probably going to see this pullback to that line, 3.93 area. I said, because we're about to get our first close underneath there, but we still had 8 hours left. 8 hours, 8,000, okay? That means 8 hours and 56 seconds. This candle represented a one-day chart. I'm looking for this to close underneath that white line. Okay, that's what I just took right from my phone. We're looking for a pullback up to that line again. Now, as again we zoom a little bit closer, this is what happened. Here's the pullback. Here's the close. We did get the close right there at 3.85. Came all the way down to here, 3.79, but we got the close. Now look at the candle. The sentiment has shifted, okay? The sentiment has shifted. We are now fighting underneath, because when it tries to come back to this territory, it's getting squashed back down to here, okay? It's trying to come back up to this territory, and right now it's getting squashed down to there. Now that's a good sign for continuation, that we're going to continue to go down. So this is my opinion, that we may still get a vortex and a large bearish, a large move here, which would be bullish for this chart and bearish for the markets, which could last a day or two or three. And that vortex is on the January 22nd week, as I've mentioned plenty of times before. But at the moment, it is unlikely now that we're starting to sit in new territories, which is under here. Okay, so this is the number that we've been watching specifically for the last only few weeks. And this is the number we've been watching specifically for the past few years. This number up here does not need to be hit again. It does not need to be hit one more time because it's already hit it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, really 5 times. Okay, and individually even multiple times more than that. But really on average 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Oh, sorry, 6 times. So we don't need to hit this vortex. If the market's already ready to go up, look for that to happen. Now, are there any other factors that may play out to the markets wanting to be bullish? Yes, the Trump inauguration, which is coming up quite soon. I think it's on the 26th, I think it is. It's on 26th from, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But this is another indication that we may have a higher chance of going down now that the round action is completed. Okay, it does not have to do that. It's a large, and it's a large round action in a higher time frame, which really suggests a much larger move. That's why I'm expecting the lower side. I'm looking at the 283 areas. Okay, I'm looking for us to come down all the way to even below this pink area. But at least this pink area is the area that I've been expecting for over a year now, when we were up here. I spoke about this often in my videos. This is the one area I told you about in my videos. I said there's 2 targets. The targets are here along this track, and the targets are here. And we came down and hit that one and bounced up for like a whole year. And then we came underneath this area. I said, guys, there's a very little time for you to get the crypto because we're going up and we're now in the new territory here, and we came down in just 5 days. Okay, DP and projection, all of this, our target should be along this track. Prices hit that track and started bouncing up. We hit the top, but now we're also fighting against the major battle, which is underneath here. That's the one that's years old. And now that price has lost that battle to this large trend, we're coming down. Okay, we're coming down. I believe that all this season, therefore, is time to be bullish. And that's why I'm very bullish. I'm not bearish the market. Now, maybe shorter term for a week, we would have been a little bit cautious or even bearish the markets because of the little room. But remember, all of that could be filled in just a single day, as we did the measurement at the beginning of some of those videos. I've told you, everybody, I'm not really panicking these. I'm more so holding on, except for holding on to the more stronger positioned cryptos. All right, so anybody have any questions? Because I know we have a lot of new people, so this is something we talk about almost every single week and almost every lesson. I don't want to spend too much time on it because you guys already know the game plan, the battle plan for this chart. Does anybody have any other questions on my take about the market sentiment towards these areas? Not just hitting the vortex coming down, but now just coming straight down. Okay, the next stops along the way may be flat here, and I'll give you a smaller flat price. 3.72 and the 3.54. So all of these numbers where we're probably going to get our first bounces is here. So when we clear this, you're going to see your cryptos are going to be higher. XRP, XDC is probably going to be even higher. Okay, some of these cryptos are going to be higher. I'm not looking to take profits. Okay, I'm not looking to take profits really. Okay, not yet. All right. The next part, since we don't have any questions, I'm going to look at the XRP and show you guys all the XRP. As I've mentioned, I've moved 75% of everything I had to XRP several weeks ago. And when I first did it, I let everybody know when discussing XRP, XDC, and USDT.D. Okay. Here was our look from this past week. On Wednesday, there was a breakout. Although I did cover XDC that specific Wednesday, I did cover it on Monday and showed everybody with my hand drawn a watch line here. And then some other people were pointing it out. But you look on our chart, you'll see a little hand drawn of our watch line. So this is our watch line. And I gave everybody the lessons telling you when we match the wicks, pay attention to the wick side. So when the health is appearing, I'm primarily concerned with the health above the line when the wicks match. So that means here. That gave us a 3 days, one final chance to enter some XRP at these prices, which was here before 250. Here's 250. The low came all the way back down to the 230s. That's a very wide range. And as months ago, I think back in November, I first mentioned these prices here underneath, way when we were still down here, showing everybody these arrows and what we're looking for. We're looking for price to either reject underneath or build and break above and build on top. It did both. It didn't reject underneath, but it broke above and came all the way back down to the $2 range, but was building its meaty part around the 230 range. Okay, so when I gave video presentations about these, I told everybody, when people asking, please don't ask me to jump on the XTC train after these prices until we hit $5 or even the $4. Okay, here's the $5 and $4. And the reason for that is because it's very hard to calculate price when it's moving almost straight up in the air. Okay, so once we're past all those health areas and there's no more entries, it's very difficult to try to get you guys on the bandwagon. Okay, it's very difficult for you guys to get up in price when you're in the sky. So when you have these rare opportunities, you want to take them. And so I said, these are the best prices, $2 and $2.30. $2, $2.30 areas. These are the prices. Here's $2.30. These numbers have not changed. They're part of leveled out parabolics based on the larger oscillations that are happening. So this is how I can calculate this angle, okay? I can calculate that angle and understand when the game is changing. So when I start seeing price build above that angle, I believe more importantly, the game is changing. So we have to be really, if you're trying to buy it in an uptrend, you want to hunt the down move. This is the down move. These are the prices. So after this, it's really hard for me to give you guys any real numbers that are of substance. This is an all-time high here, but it's not really a resistance. It's just an all-time high of 330. We hit that number. I'm going to be watching USDT.D, with USDT.D having a chance, not a guarantee, but having a chance to continue going down. That's going to give me more confidence to stay and hold my XRP position until we reach $5. All right. When we hit $5 area, we're going to be hitting there, and there's projections that we have. I'm going to be looking for possible structure above $5 to denote that we're going to continue going up. But as a reminder of my XRP dreams, the 3 spikes, I'm going to be looking for us to come down. There's 2 types of ways we're going to come down. Either I'm going to come down on a curve or I'm going to come down sharply. Now, I'm not going to get out of everything XRP, but I'm probably going to take some time and lick some ice cream. I'm going to be taking some profit there, and I'm going to be praying. I'm going to look to see if there's any structure or data that I can use. But if we come down very sharply, then I know that's a fulfillment of the spike. And that means that when we come down, I'm going to be looking probably to come back down to $1.89. I'm going to be looking to come back down to the $2 area, possibly both of those. However, after that, once we go up, back up to 5, I'm going to look to go all the way to $15 area, $12 to $15 area initially, based on some of the maps. Now, there's more numbers that can be hit, but after that, I'm going to be looking to come down on a curve. Because I had a dream that when price comes down, it comes down on a curve. So that will be a fulfillment of both dreams or visions, the spike and the curve. If we hit $5 and we go down on a curve, then I'm going to be looking for the spike to be closer to the $12 to $15. Then I'll be looking to fall like a rock, again back closer to 2, or even in this case back to the $5 or $3 area. I'll be looking to fall like a rock to here or here, and that would be a fulfillment of a spike dream. But I don't really think those spikes are like that. I think the spikes were pretty closely related, and as I've mentioned before, just to remind everybody how that looks, if I pull up a monthly chart, it's quite easy for everyone to see it. Spike 1, spike 2, spike 3. Okay, I'll say it again. Spike 1, spike 2, spike 3. This is the fulfillment of the 3 spikes. So if we fall hard and we don't fall on a nice curve, then I'm going to be looking to fall to 1. And then I'm not going to be looking to fall like a rock when we hit 15. I'll be looking to fall smooth there. But if I come smooth now and I say, oh, that's not a fulfillment of the 3 spikes, then I'll be looking to fall like a rock from 12 to 15. So depending on where the curve is, I'm going to be paying attention specifically to that for our community and watching for those moves. After that, the moves I see in the next part of the map are XRP closer to $70 or $73 area last I calculated. And that's based on some of the other in-depth maps we have, which I'm not going to cover today because I cover those all the time. We got other cryptos to do. But I want to let you guys know when we hit $70 or $73, I'm also going to be looking to take profit. So as a quick reminder, my big numbers are 230, which have already been hit multiple times. Now we're building on those 2 and 230. Now we're going up. The next stops for me, I believe, are closer to $5. And after that, I'm going to be looking closer to 12 to 15. And after that, I'm going to be looking for $70. Those are my big numbers. All right. If you guys want more data information, you want some more of that about the dreams, on our website, in the search bar about recent posts, type in XRP. And then you're going to see sometimes, and you're going to see the images. Scroll to the section where it shows XRP Dream, and you're going to see the images. I drew it for you. I explained. There's a video specifically about it. Does anybody have any questions, comments, my takes, XRP, before we go into cryptos today? Questions, comments, my take, my opinion, my thoughts, XRP. This is never guaranteed. This is just the things I see in the data. I hope you guys are doing well with your XRP as well. Going once. All right. First question. Good morning, J-Song. After watching all the lessons, the one thing that still puzzles me is correctly reading volume, testing the demand, or depleting the supply, pushing volume. Could you possibly touch on volume, as I'm a 5-year-old? This might be the only way that may work for me. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some more lessons on volume. We looked at volume in a macro sense. We looked at volume when it comes to campaign. I'm going to be retouching some of those because, as I mentioned, when I did the filming for Sword Method 6.0, when I was doing some of the volume stuff, I said to everybody, I am not the best at teaching volume just yet. I want to be. I want to get better. So every now and then I do a tutorial live, and those have not been included in those lessons. But look for those times when I type the word tutorial. Sometimes I'll specifically do tutorials about volume, but I'll try to teach it more at a lower level, right? Just because it's a very complex subject, because volume will go up and price will go up. Volume will go up and price will come down. People are like, what? I don't understand. It's not so simple. It's like a language. You have to read it. Like an R will make an R sound, but it can also be a Roberto and Robert and grrr. Next question comes from Shauna Cat. Do you see resistance at $3.30 for XRP? Let's take a look. I don't believe I have anything real on the board at $3.30. Oh, no, I don't have anything at $3.30. Lisa says, do you see $19 on the map? Prophetic dream from Mr. Clem. I heard about that the other day. I think I saw your post. I'm going to check my gray map for XRP and see if it has anything in that 19 area. All right, so the question is, do we see something around 330 resistance? And then somebody says, do I have the 19 numbers? All right, so this is some of the map that I use to get the flow for some of the larger stuff. This is this is really the dominant parabolic that I see that is going to act like a stronger key angle. And then this is one of the more shorter interim or more immediate parabolics, okay, more immediately. Not as powerful as the larger stuff. This one may put our resistances closer to these prices, around 340, okay? This is the number I gave you guys before, 342 based on this secondary map. And the wick range, which is able to hit a little bit higher, that's numbers closer to this dominant parabolic, which is somewhere around right now 480. So this is why I'm still looking to get more on the on this side. I'm not looking to get slammed down based on this specific trend. Okay, I'm not really looking for that to slam me down. Okay, it can slow things down, but with USDT.D giving momentum to the market, I expect us to be really hitting the $5. So that's where that comes in now. But if it goes down, then it goes down. It's really hard to catch it here. Again, it's much better to catch this at that $2 range so that you're in a good holding. Now, the reason I say that is because this is a lesson that I'm not really doing a lesson, but this is a type of lesson that we learn from weak and strong holders. If you buy here, you're able to withstand any pullbacks here and still be in profit and still feel good and not be affected. But if you're buying here, you're very much emotionally invested, because if we come all the way down one more time, even the sword cut before balancing on, it's very painful because you're chasing the market buying here. So the people who are in strong positions or strong holders, they're able to withstand more of the pullbacks. Even people who buy breakouts, they're much more able to stand pullbacks because they're in a strong position. But we're more apt to make a poor emotional decision when we're chasing markets and we get pullbacks. Okay, so right now we can weather the storm. Most of you in this community were buying in that range that we talked about. The other half of you who are in XRP were buying XRP at the first healths that were revealed way back when. Okay, way back when. Okay, now let's talk about the 19 to see if I see any 19 number. Here's the $15 area. If that number was, if price goes straight up before March, we're looking to hit 15. That's not including spikes that might hit. The bigger number after that is $70 based on the DP projection of the larger oscillation. Okay, so what that means for all of you guys, this is a reminder how I got some of these 19 numbers. If price is oscillating here and respecting the angle, yet at other times disrespecting the angle, then it tells me that this is primarily the mid-phantom. So we do the larger oscillation, which is here, and it's also 50% of the distance between here, between the top and the bottom. It's the exact distance between here and here. This gives me another part of verification that lets me know that what I'm looking at is an angle that I should be drawing into the sky along that track, and that's $70. So this is how I got the $70 number. Again, based on the larger oscillation, the parabolic, it's telling me as a clue we're probably going to see $70 if we can break above and build above 5. We may hit 15 and come back down to 5, but if we don't come all the way back down to 5 on a nice curve, as I said, then I'm looking to go up to $70. Okay, so I'm going to be looking where that curve is. We're all the way coming back down after hitting 5. It comes straight back down to 1.89 cents. There's that 89 cents number. Or if we hit $1, I'm going to be looking to come back up closer to 15. Okay, then when we hit that 15, I'm going to be looking to curve. But if we curve now, then I'm going to be looking to fall later. If we fall now, I'm going to be looking to curve later, and that means I'm going to take profit at 15, get back in at 5, go into 70. But I don't see anything right now that's going to tell me that I need to be paying attention to 19 just yet. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any data matching Mr. Clem at the moment. Triple J from our community said watch for 17. Yep. Go ahead.
Sorry. Just wondering if you followed the 15 up the dynamic positive the weekly, could that be a spot for that?
Yeah, if we hit there, maybe here's 19 closer to August. Okay. So if we were to take our sweet time and go up in August, that might be something. If we hit 5 and curve back down to these numbers here, then we can really stay alive all summer, okay, through spring and maybe summer, and come back and hit those 15. And again, I'm not saying we're going to hit $70 right now or even this year, but sometime it's on the board. Looking more closely at some of the dynamics, there's some room to play. There's some room, a lot of room to play. Here's 480, we could spike and hit 5. That could be a fulfillment, and that could be coming up real soon. Along that track, we're going to have to watch it. But here's the 19, it's in August. That's only one angle. There may be other data that will suggest it. Right now we need to get to those territories first to try to calculate some more of those advanced moves. All right, let's continue on. Are we ready? Any other questions, comments? XRP?
Hey, Song, it's Paul here. Just a question.
Hey, Paul. Good morning.
Quickly. I probably didn't hear. Just wondering, where are we playing in? What do you expect us to retest XRP? Or did we already hit that low at roughly just 307 this morning or last night?
So you're talking about a real immediate XRP. Let me see if we can. Again, we're in really new territory, so I don't think there's going to be another retest, but let's do our best. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new chart here. I'll load my gray copy. All right, let's keep track of the larger story. So on the other map, I had some resistances closer to 340. That's about 340 right there. We have the larger supports here and at the $2 and the $2.30. Okay. So now let's zoom in all the way to, just say we go cut this down from a 12, then we're going to go to 6, and then we'll go to 3. Okay. Here's 12, here's 6, and now let's draw that other support, just so you guys remember, have it. The watch line we've been watching was these two. There's the third point, and then here's the bounce, there's the health. 6-hour chart. So this is for all the people intraday watching this chart, intraday traders. That was you guys. That was a health there. Okay. That's when we said on Monday would happen, and then Wednesday it happened. We didn't cover it Wednesday, but that was the help. Now, let's go down to a 3-hour chart, cut it down, and now let's go down to let's watch some of these things. So on a 3-hour chart, based on this data, if we're drawing traditional sort method stuff, we're going to draw our next accelerated adjustment here. If you're looking for a more immediate fall, it's probably going to be, or a really strong fall, it's probably going to be at $2.53. Okay, so that's going to be your lower retest number based on some of this. Okay, there's 3 supports that suggest that, 1, 2, and 3. All right, so let's stop there for just a moment, and then we'll take a screenshot. Okay, the next section is we can do DP projections based on this oscillation, looking for supports, and that is going to be here. All right, so I have an energy center at the top of this area based on this oscillation. However, if I see price retest here and go up, I'm going to take the distance between here and here, bring it to the top, and then I'm going to have a new calculation. So let's try to do that just right now to see if I'm hitting my own targets. All right, now let's be really exact about this. So that's the principle we're going to do. I'm going to measure, take a measuring line, bring it to the top, and yep, there it is. All right, so according to this, if we broke out, if this was our trend, if this was all we had, and we broke out to here, we would be looking to hit this line, and we did. So this might be where the pullback should happen, and it did happen. Okay, that's great. Everything's working fine so far. So that overlap with our other map might have been a profit taking for those of you who are intraday trading. Now again, why don't I always list this chart? Because it's a 3-hour chart. Every 3 hours there's updates. So I don't always do this, and I teach you guys the principles. I teach you how to do it. All you have to do is keep your current map on, your major points, and zoom in and do the principles over and over again from sword method. Lessons 1 through 17 are already recorded, and the whole 5.0 series is recorded. So anyone who's wanting to get good at this, just watch and go through those lessons. All right, so now you're down here, and your next retest number, instead of 253, may actually be a smaller bounce at, let's put it down tomorrow, 296. So to answer Paul's question a little bit better, we might say, okay, 296 might be another bounce. We may come up, we may come down. Now, is there another clue we might be going back up? Yes. Draw another watch line. So if we're last left with here, now if we zoom in, let's go down from a 3-hour all the way to our 1. Can we draw a watch line? Yes, you can. Now, if I'm drawing with my fingers, it's just like that, okay? It's just straight. If you're just drawing with your professional tools, you probably should label some of these once you start going down less than an hour and stuff. So I could say 1-hour chart. Because from what I understand, the biggest problem that people seem to have when they start doing technical analysis, the biggest problem they have is they draw lines, but they think larger, or they should be thinking larger, or they draw larger and they should be thinking smaller, like smaller time frames. So again, like this on the map is our what's this? Daily chart. Okay, that line is a daily line. That's a powerful line. This is just a 1-hour line. In a daily chart, you won't even see this down move. I had to zoom in to show you guys, right? On a daily chart, you won't see this 296, and you won't see the 253. But when you zoom down, you can. But if I zoom down, I'm gonna be so like, what do I do? Because look at all the ups and downs that happen, right? I have to be glued to my XRP chart, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, buying. That's not for everybody. So you gotta be really careful. Okay, this is not for everybody. And as a general rule for our community, I do not really talk so much about 1-hour trading because it can get you in trouble. If you don't know what you're doing, or you don't have the time, or you get distracted and you got to go back to work, or whatever it is. So if I'm looking for a more immediate breakout, I'm looking for a price to go up, I'm going to be looking for that. All right. Is this angle have any matches? Yes, it does. Okay. It's going to match the bottom. Now we got a vortex, and the vortex is on, you guessed it, January 19th. I don't know if you guessed it or not. January 19th, maybe if we're sitting in that pocket, I'm going to be looking for a bounce. Okay. If we go below it, that area in the vortex, I'm going to be looking to go down. At the moment, price is at a higher price based on the 1-hour chart, and we may come down. So this is how we can start getting some of the better data. If you want, you can do this yourself. Okay. the money that's on the table may not be that much. Here is 5%. Okay, 5%. This is not lucrative for everybody, so therefore, sometimes it's not important to go all the way down to a daily chart. But if you are leverage trading, some of you guys are really large leverage trading, you got to be careful because it can get into gambling. You could already be gambling. For me, it's a lot of it's gambling. I have a leverage position on XRP, but a very small leverage position. I have a very small leverage position. Most of my XRP is just spot. Okay. I always say beware against high leverage trading because it can get you in some trouble. But in smaller trading times, that's something you guys want to do. All right. Does anybody have any other questions regarding XRP? Okay. And again, I don't zoom down for every chart. Anyone else? Come on. Questions?
I have a comment.
Hello. Is this Wayne's World?
Wayne's World.
Hey, Wayne's World. Good morning.
That's good. I got to update my name there. A comment about XRP. There's a gentleman, he's a prophet named Joseph Z, and I think a lot of people have heard of him, and he's just not a fly-by-nighter. He's called a lot of different things, and he really doesn't do crypto. But his comment was that the only crypto that the Lord showed him was XRP. And what he said about that was that during the times of, I don't know, craziness, storm, whatever, he said the Lord told him that was the most stable coin of all of them. The most stable coin during shakings or whatever like that. So I just want to throw that out there.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. And that's a great contrast to when we think about prophetic coins, Wayne's World, because like we hear prophetic stuff on SHIBA or we have prophetic stuff on this, but some of them have very large swings, oscillations, pullbacks. They have a very wide spread for some of these cryptos. They have a very large ups and downs just within a 24-hour period. Anyone who's 1 hour trading and you're buying at those tops, it's going up, it's going down, you're like on a roller coaster. But if you want a more smoother ride, maybe XRP.
And again, that was the only one shown to by the Lord. No other coin. He really doesn't crypto anyway. He's just admitted that a couple times, and a couple of other prophetic voices had mentioned that too, that he had spoken about that one only. That's the only one he was shown. So, and stable during the craziest times, right?
Yeah, I think that's the rule of thumb for a lot of people in crypto. Like when I had my dream years ago about the truck backing up, and the angel asked me about Sharon, and I said, Sharon, and I was like, I didn't know a Sharon. And that the very next day, I saw one of my first crypto videos about cryptocurrency was Sharon from Now Daily Bread. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And she talked about me in her video. She had just, I don't know why, I was just starting on YouTube at the time, and she just happened to mention me in her dream or her vision or her prayer or something in the video. And I was like, she mentioned me. I said, I came out with a video and I mentioned her. And I thought, man, that's really interesting that she mentioned me. And that was around the time where I saw the truck backing up. And the driver of the truck said, he gave me a thing to sign saying, this is for you. And I was like, what? And I read it and it said, and it says, to the holders of XRP. And it was great wealth. It was great wealth. And I said, where's my car? Where's my car? And they said, we had to move them down the road, he said. We had to move them down farther to make room for all of your new stuff. And I was like, what? I thought that was really powerful. And that was a dream I had a long time ago. It's on YouTube, one of the dreams I had. Now, Royal just said, XRP was my first dream, and then I invested. Wow, praise God. Royal also says, I thought I saw XRP, $72, Jason. Perhaps it was a dream. Perhaps, Royal, perhaps. And if it was a dream, praise God for that. All right. Anyone else? Yeah, go ahead.
To speak also. I've been seeing really bold $5.
Really?
I think you're right on spot.
Good. Anything else, Royal?
The Lord is just revealing $5. I don't know if I should sold it right there, buy it again, but it was just saying to me, I saw really $72 when you say 70. I think it's just gonna go up a little bit, 72, then 70. But,
wow.
$5 has been 2 weeks for me seeing it. Bold $5. And I kept looking at your chart and it's just like, you're right on the spot.
Wow.
$5.
That's interesting because my public number for everybody was 70 and 73. If you're having 72, that's like right in the middle of the ballpark area where I think some of us can walk away like bandits in a strong way. All right. Anyone else? XRP comments? I'm going to be doing some cryptos today. but it's really important that we get put our good finger on the pulse of the market, and that we get a good feel of what's happening. All right. Some of these I may make public. I may take a portion of this and I may make public. I haven't done it almost everything. It's just for you guys at Dive. So people who are wondering what's happening in our community, what I'm doing, I'm investing in you, giving you guys my time, rather than just people who just subscribe on YouTube. But if you do watch this clip on YouTube, you can join our community. Our website's right here, .com/jsong_7, right here, patreon.com/jsong_7. It's $18 for the full month for Dive. And you get invited to all the links. You get to be part of our live calls, live streams, updates. Anytime I post something, emergency video or anything like that, you guys will get an email notification on your Patreon app or through your email. And you're going to get invited. You also get invited to our word room on Sunday, and then we have a daily reading of the Bible before every one of our meetings. If you guys are also interested in some of the screenshots we're taking, those image notes are also posted for all of you guys. You can join at the report tier for copies of the videos, but you do not get invited to the links, or you get access to the tutorial videos. So I want you to know that you can type in the word lessons right on recent posts and be taken directly to our lessons page for all my tutorials, where I'm explaining more how to do these. And I'm not just teaching what I see, but teaching how to create what I see. All right. So if I am doing these classes or sessions, sometimes they're more a class, and sometimes they're more just me doing what I used to call recaps, where I'm just covering what I see in the cryptos. Okay. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. These are not tutorials. Generally, I reserve tutorials for Wednesdays, and sometimes those tutorials become those lessons on our lessons time, especially when we're doing the filming. Later in this year, we may be moving to the filming of Sword Method 7.0, but right now on our 6.0 version, there's a lot just for you to stay in that and learn and practice your art. Okay, our next chart is VELO. I don't really see any big updates for VELO. Right now, VELO's at a resistance area closer to 3 cents. Okay, the last updates we have several weeks back in December was around December 2nd. This resistance is still playing out here. This line is going to continue moving up on the track, so we'll just extend that out. Now that line is based on this larger key angle. So let's just borrow this one. Being careful. Oh no. All right, there it is. If price is playing in this larger oscillation here, then the top is actually up there. That's where the top is. So this is all just going to move up to the side. And those prices that were once a maximum of 5 cents are now going to move up the track. If they were to move up sometime in February, they're going to be somewhere around 99 cents. So you can see there's a huge difference in potential money on the table. And this is also why, in my opinion, why I believe that sometimes the larger traders who are holding will play the longer game, because the longer they hold, many times, depending on the angle, there's more money on the table. Like, for example, here's 14 cents. 14 cents is up here, 5 cents is here. So if they hit it here and get all these people who are the strongholders to trigger their sells, they're going to swamp and flood the market at 5 cents. But if they trigger it now, they have 9 cents before they're going to start flooding the market, the psychological levels where these are going to be hit. And later on, if they can continue staying in profit, the psychological level will go up to 14 cents. So it's more lucrative to sometimes play a longer game than to play a shorter game, depending on the angles. Now, the reason I'm more in the camp of 9 cents for VELO is because when I look closely at VELO, I can see that one of them has a very large round structure here. The other is a peak. So I'm going to be paying attention mostly to this angle. Okay, that angle is going to be important to me. All right. Our targets, our swing targets that were here are already hit, so they don't really need to be hit anymore. This was our swing target. They were the swing target hit, and the normal target was right here, and they both hit. Then price continued going up. All right, this is going to be of our first acceleration. We can actually adjust this angle a little bit. I'm going to try to see how many points I can collect and see if there's a match at the core and the wick. All right, in this case, I'm going to use the wick side. I will take a screenshot to denote this. And what that means is I'm using this point. Let me get my Apple Pencil. That means I'm going to be paying attention more to that little point rather than the meaty part, because it matches this right there. And it also matches here. So there's a lot of alignment on there. I may be focused on that angle for me. That's what I'm going to be looking to do. If I were to just draw the angle from the core part in here, it's going to be a little bit higher. and it's almost the same angle. So right now I'm just more going to say our support is closer to, if price were to fall, closer to maybe the 17 cents. Okay. Not 17 cents, 0.17, sorry, 0.17. So right now, current price still being only 2 cents. Lots of potential on the table. Okay, lots of potential still on the table. All right. Very wide spreads and swings that are happening right now. But if we were trying to navigate it, I would want to really have build up solidly above here. And those prices today are around 0.31 cents. So I really want to build above 0.13 cents and looking for us to come down when we're rejecting there. All right, now I'll look at the volume and I'll tell you what I'm going to be looking for. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to be looking for. I do have targets up here in the sky, closer to 16 and 49. Okay, so those targets are still active in the sky. 49 cents, 16 cents. That is not a typo. So if we move from 2 cents all the way to 16 cents, that's still a lot of money on the table. Now this crypto at one time was once trading at closer to $2. All right. Now there's two things I'm going to be looking for, and I'll show you quickly. I'm going to be looking in the volume. I want to see if the volume was increasing. Okay. I want to see if the volume was increasing on the down move. If it was, and we move into health based on that increase in volume, then I'm going to be more in the camp, which we did. We moved into health here. But if it was on an increase in volume on this down move, then I'm going to say there was a buying campaign. And a buying campaign means that the professionals are entering into the market on the down move because they're trying to get cheaper prices. And all professional buying and selling generally by the banks, hedge funds, and institutions is on moves that are the down move. Okay? They buy counterintuitive, because they can throw money at it over a long time until it moves into health. If I see that we came down again on an increase in volume, that will be a secondary campaign. If there is a decrease in volume, that means that the supply primarily has been absorbed, and that means we're going to come into, and if we come into health with that decrease, that means that there was a lack of interest. Lack of interest. All right, now I don't know what it's going to be, but these are the things I'm looking for. So if I see lack of interest and price move on to health, it's ready to move up. Supply has been absorbed. If I see a secondary buying campaign, I'm going to now have a way to compare those two volumes from here to here together. And that's called what I call looking at the volume in the macro. Okay, so we have to compare it to these areas. Now, there's one other thing I'm going to be looking for, okay, besides those things. And the last thing I'm going to be looking for today, specifically on this chart, is when we came up to these areas here and here, I'm going to be looking for the volume to have increase. If I see a volume increasing at those points that I'm comparing, then I know there's still a market up there, and this is where I generally draw a white circle with a white arrow inside of it. And that tells me there's a market for higher prices to come, if I see that. If I don't see that, and I see a stark contrast, like a very low volume, if I see just a very low volume at the end, and we were coming down, I also would think maybe they're absorbing the supply, but they're not ready to bring it up. So we're going to have to look for the next event to happen. If it's in weakness, I'm going to be looking for the markets to come down in a strong way. But if the market is increasing in volume, I'm going to be looking for us to go up. The big clues are what's going to happen here when those angles converge. Those angles converge, they also form a thundercut. This is all a little bit advanced, but that's why I'm here, to help you try to keep track of some of these things. So let's just quickly look at the volume and see what we see. Now, in section number 1, was there a large buying campaign before the health? The health was right there in February 23. Was there a strong increase in volume on the down bars? Yes, there was. Strong increase. So we can denote this and say there was buying. So I can say VELO is buying coming in. Buying coming in. And what type of volume was it? It was very high. It was large buying coming in. And it was sustained. It wasn't just like a normal buy here and there. So large buying, okay, there. And I put a little memo for myself to know that we can see that as the move is coming down, the volume's having a strong increase as the move is down. Into health, that's a very positive sign. Okay, very positive sign. The next section is that other move here. All right, let's turn on a histogram to simplify this. As we came down, the move down was on lack of interest here, but the first segment was on an increase in volume. So there may have been some more buying at the sword cut here. Okay, more buying coming in, which is called a secondary accumulation. However, on this last segment, from here to here, the volume is increasing, yet we can't decreasing, yet we came to hell. What does that mean? That means they successfully completed their campaign. They absorbed, they bought here, they bought some more here, and then they bought up all the supply, and they're no longer interested, and there's no market down there. We moved into health. They successfully absorbed most of the supply. This generally means we don't have to come back down, because we've already showed that there's low or no demand here where it should be. That's a very good thing for this crypto. Okay, so to denote that on the chart, I'm going to write another arrow, and I'm going to say supply absorbed. Supply absorbed. Price moved into health on lack of interest. So the professionals are no longer have to participate in here. There's no one left to sell to or buy from. They're trying to buy up all the supply, and there's no more market here. Okay, the market is very low. All right, that's good. That's fantastic. Okay, so now we have those three events. When it comes, what did I do wrong? Deleted my volume. There we go. Okay, so now it makes sense why we are having a strong move for VELO. Okay, it makes sense why we'd have the strong move, because the move isn't just into health based on the chart and the technical, the symmetry of the price or anything like that. The move is up based on the buying by professional money. Okay, so now when we do go up, we have volume to confirm those 3 points, 1, 2, 3, as I mentioned a little earlier. All right, here's what we're going to look. Here's the volume for those 3 areas. Number 1 is going to be here, high volume, here, high volume, and here, low volume. All right, then, what might be actually happening? It's possible that some people are taking profit. Then when we come back up again, there's a lack of volume. Some people might be taking profit, and then here we come back up and might be taking profit. The volume is going down, and they're not showing that there's a market up here. Now, there may be a distribution happening, but it's not so strong. They may also be absorbing price in here, but generally when they absorb, I want to see more round structure. I don't want to just see some quick moves. But some of the stronger holders may be trying to move it up. We're going to have to take into account that there's less and less of a market up there. So it's very possible we may be due to come back down for a little bit of time until we see the next lack of interest. Now, there'll be some clues about that, but it's not looking the best at the moment. So this is not so clear that we're going to have a strong move up or continuation with VELO at the moment. Okay, not so strong a continuation. There is some clues, though. When we move up, we have 2 things to see. And I'm going to show you this. Let's go a little bit. Let's go to maybe a daily 2-day chart to help me highlight this point. We can ask ourselves, is the market moving up in harmony? Is it supposed to be moving up? And I'm going to say yes, and here's how I know. So now just isolating this section in the volume, this is what I see in the data. I see a large up move. And in this up move, there's increased volume. So as long as it's not heavy distribution, which it could be, we don't know yet, I'm going to see if there's a heavy distribution. One of the big tells is when the market does come down, does it come down on increased volume too? In this case, the volume comes down on lack of interest. So there's lack of interest here, and because they're not so interested in the market's going to come back up, find its balance. The market comes up 1 and 2. Let's look at those a little further to give us a clue. The first move, the volume, again, increased or stabilized in that section. That's good. Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, is there a market up there? When we came down and pulled back, it was again on down move, lack of interest. So they're not interested in bringing prices down at the moment. Now we go up one more time, as I mentioned here, and the market goes up on volume again. This is telling us in a smaller sense, it is telling us in a smaller sense that this move is in harmony, this move is in harmony, and that move is in harmony. I should be careful using the H because it's usually the symbol I use for health. So it does make sense that we would see an up market in the smaller area. On a macro, in a larger move, it doesn't seem. So how do I reconcile the two? One's telling me we're going up, the smaller scale, and the other larger chart is not telling me we're going up. I would be looking for a move possibly up, but not to last a long time. So we may see those prices, especially with the market being bullish, but probably we're going to see a pullback again or another challenge even to here. And the market's really got to fight. Now the sentiment's may be changing, and it changes on these smaller time frames here, but it may not be enough in the larger story, the larger holders, the ones that are playing the long game. Okay, so that's how I'm going to view VELO. That's why we may be struggling still here. The smaller game is winning, but the larger game is saying, hey, over time, there may be not enough juice right now. But it's still not that bad because the volume's still rather high. The market's really not ready for a large drop or anything like that, and there's no signs of weaknesses at the moment. So the smaller time frame is in health. The larger time is slowing down, but it's still in health. It could be they're absorbing the supply, and that might be a help to push. It could be some small distribution, but I don't really think that's the case looking at the smaller time frame. And I'm going to be bullish VELO because of this. All right, let's put some of these words. VELO, December, what's today? January 18th, 2025. VELO. VELO, we have identified buying in VELO longer term. However, the larger story also indicates that price volume is slowing down. This indicates slowing down. This indicates there may not be a major longer term up move yet, or a longer term sustainable move. We can also see on the smaller time frame, the market is moving up in harmony and down on lack of interest. This suggests that if we move up, we may, but not longer term. This also is inconsistent with other VELO moves. All right, not velocity, VELO moves. Okay, now the reason I say that is because if we look at VELO in the past, when we came up here, like for example in February, we came right back down. Okay, when we came up here in May, we came right back down. So if we break up this time and hit this high number, we still may come back down. Okay, so those two that are conflicting, I'm going to say I'm still going to be a little bit more bullish because there's still a lot more volume up at those high areas. And the shorter term says that we may go up. But the fact that we're going down at all these tops tells me it's probably not going to last really long. Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments, VELO? I won't spend as much time as on some of the other cryptos, but every now and then I do throw a strong chart. I'll try to give you guys some more strong explanations of what may happen. It is possible there may be a distribution that is taking place, but I'm not going to be super bullish. You want to look for structure here. Ultimately, that's the final end all be all. All right, next question comes from MB. Will there be moments to get back into the good cryptos after taking profits and waiting for the big dump? There should be. There's supports on many of those cryptos on the map. So if you look for the lower areas of some of those maps that are more in the territories where price is flowing, you're probably going to get some good bottoms. All right, for XCN, this crypto should be added to the long-term bullish list as potential to break out due to the supply check in December. This indicates higher prices. Higher prices are to come in the macro volume. The breakout area is where I wish to confirm this. Okay, and that's at 33 cents. So the health area showing me prices breaking here with the main resistance around 0094. All right, the 0094 is where? Up here. Okay, 0094. Two areas I've given you for this crypto back in December, back in January 6th. This has all been hit. Okay, so hit. So this is an update to this chart. So if you're scrolling through my images, that's the update. Okay, 0094 and the top number, which I also gave you guys here. All right, so let's look at this. This was our entry areas here and here, which were denoted here and this one. Okay. So if you were in X Onyx, I hope you did well. All right. So this is for X Onyx coin. Cents we hit on January 17th, yesterday, and today, and then we hit these prices, the 15 cents. In that case, that was dynamic positive. So if we were to hit today, the number was or is around 15.34, which we already hit, so we don't really need to come back. We already walked all the way up to 18. Okay, but this is my resistance, and this is where we're at. Okay, so if I buy it right now, I'm chasing the candle. Right now, I'm only thinking about taking profit. Now, with that said, there's targets up here in the sky. Okay, so with that, yeah, Dave, you want to cover XCN, right? This is XCN right here. Is that correct? Yeah, but you're not the only one who wanted to request it. Looks okay. Now, XCN, 2 cents, 4 cents, and 6 cents are targets. Our swing target, 4 cents, and right now the next move up here. So if you're going to hold on, you're probably going to be looking at 0.25 cents. Also, if I see prices building on here, on this line, I'm going to be looking for it to come up here. Camino says LXCN is a JP Morgan coin. Interesting. Interesting. So this coin has moved up quite a bit since its initial health back down here. Okay, this was the initial breakout. That's fantastic. This area we identified is a bottom. Okay, this is our major trend here. This is our larger resistance. But if price is going up and down in that resistance, it's possible there may be something more at play. So I'm going to be looking at above 15 cents to tell me when I need to get back in or when I need to continue going on up towards the top targets. This is a crypto that was once trading at all the way, what's here? 18 cents. Current price is only still 0.1 cents. So if price goes up all the way to its all-time high, I don't think it's going to, but I don't know if it's going to go to right now. But if it did, from current prices, there's a lot of money on the table. That's 1,000%, 1,400%. If it goes up to its conservative target, it's around 100%, just hitting conservatively around 2.4. Okay, if it goes to swing target, that's around 194%. And if it goes to the third target, you're looking around 354%. At the moment, it's already gone up. Okay, and this is one that's on my longer term bullish list of cryptos that we identified from November and December. These is cryptos that this one has already. Let's go to January 6th to talk about that. Where's January 6th? Way back here. Okay, January 6th, you should already be up some Onyx coin. If you have some of this and you watched for those breakouts, you should probably be around 400%. Okay. If you got around the breakout, just say somewhere around that 0.38, you should be up around, where's this? Oops, hold on. If you got somewhere around the breakout around 0.03, you should be up around 200% or so. Okay, 260%. All right, so I hope you guys are doing well. I hope my December long-term bullish list is helping some of you guys, at least to navigate some of the cryptos. Okay. All right. Any questions, comments? XCN.
Do you have a screenshot of that, Jason?
Yeah, no problem. All right. Anyone else? XCN. Lisa says, I took profits yesterday. Should I take more? I was up 925. Now up 800%. Royal says, Economic Ninja said he was out at the moment. It is a top. It is a top. If you get and you come back and you get slammed down here, that's what happened here. So I said our main resistance is at 94, right? I called it before. So what I was saying was that's the main resistance. But you'll see that during that day, price spiked all the way up to the top and came back down to that area. Okay. So we came all the way up here, but still spiked down here. It's possible we're going to do that again with prices hitting this and still coming back down. So it's still telling us our main profit is around 0.09, with this all being the exceptions. Okay, possibly where we're going. And if you're in that area, it's probably wise or good to be looking to take profits somewhere in that area. So I would take some profits if it was me, but this is never a financial investment or trade advice. That's what I would be doing. Okay, as close as we can to that area. Okay, if I get a breakout, maybe I can take the final cryptos. If you want to take some here and then some at the target, but there's no guarantee we're going to go up. But with USDT.D giving some momentum based on its closes yesterday, I'm probably gonna take some profit, maybe not so much, and still hold out for our final targets. All right, let's go to XOR. All righty. R. Isn't that Sora, right? Where's XOR? No. Should be, right? Where's Sora? Did they remove it? Delisted on another places? Does anybody know? It should be Sora, right? Delisted at BitGet. All right, InvestBox says delisted at BitGet. Yeah, I know it's delisted on Gate.io. Is the app still giving data feed for people? Do you know? Let me pull up this on the website. It's hard for people to trade it when it's delisted, but it can be also manipulation. XOR is on my long-term bullish list, but I said, be careful, don't buy it just yet. Wait. Let's look at DEX tools. Yeah, here it is. It's still shown in wrapped ether. Yeah, nothing new for this one, in my opinion. We still need health for this crypto. Still need help. Okay. Thank you, InvestBox. Let me copy and paste that. Hold on. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, we're done. This is a daily chart. We have a very steep incline, and at the moment, I'm gonna give you some numbers. Okay, I'm gonna give you some numbers based on my new star method. Some of the gesture stuff from star method. You can watch real quick what I'm gonna do.
Hi Jay, can you hear me?
Yes. Who is this? Hey, Chris.
Yeah, this is Chris. Yeah, I was just wondering. You had some previous charts on XOR. Whatever happened to them?
I'm looking for them. I couldn't find them right now. I think they've been delisted. And when they get delisted, sometimes they don't show up anymore on TradingView.
Right. The reason why I asked you to look into them was just because I've noticed they have really dipped in prices. So anyone still interested in buying could get quite a lot of them.
All right. So here's what I'm going to say about Gate.io. Again, I noticed accumulation on certain volume and some prices. However, this is a type of low price here. Okay, that is a low price. Current prices right now, 7 zeros. It is very cheap. It needs to survive. It may, because I saw large accumulation happening. However, when prices show continued weakness, they're not ready to come up. And from my last video or comments about XOR on our website, when you type in XOR, you're going to see that XOR is added to my longer term bullish list, but it's not ready to strike. Okay, that's why I said not ready to buy just yet. Please be careful buying Gate.io. I'm sorry, buying this right now because it was delisted on Gate.io. Now I'm hearing it's delisted on BitGet, and I can't even find it on TradingView at the moment from today. However, and that's not to say it's not going to be available or after regulations it won't survive or anything. We hear a lot of good things about it, and sometimes it's like the whole Gary Gensler situation. Like they sue Bitcoin for years, while them and their cronies are able to buy up, and then they release the lawsuit, and then all of a sudden it shoots up. So they limit who can actually get it. They did the same thing with Ethereum. They sued Ethereum, time up for litigation. Everybody's, oh, I want it, and they're secretly buying. And then they release the regulations, the lawsuits, they drop them, and Ether goes up. They did the same with XRP. XRP, they were like, we're going to go all the way to court. It's possible they were buying up XRP as well. So when you see cryptos that are being accumulated, yet they're being delisted, sometimes it raises flags. It doesn't always mean it's safe to do, but sometimes it's a big risk. And sometimes it's a wise or educated risk. In my case, I would like to use a little bit of both wisdom. In my case, where I put it on our longer term bullishness because I saw, hey, there's potential longer term. Because of some of the buying, I can recognize, I believe it's buying coming in, but we have to wait for the moments to strike. Some of the moments to strike are this watch line that's been established all the way since September, November. We started a watch line that's approximately somewhere down here, and that angle is being hit quite accurately. Okay, so when I draw the foundational area, I'm still hitting that as a resistance. So it's still not ready to do something. Now, if you're going to buy it anyway, these are the prices that are probably going to be some of the best prices based on some of my star method stuff that I have using gesture, which we taught a little tutorial about on this very, what's today, Saturday? This very Wednesday. Okay, so this Wednesday, this week, January 16th, I believe it was. Now, that means I need to be here before I'm going to buy. I need price to show me that it got what it takes to give me a run for its money. When I do, then I may see, and we use this area next as my big tell me what to do moment. Okay, there's 7 zeros, and I don't even know what this is because I didn't take the screenshot just right. But I may use these areas to determine where my next resistance can come in. Now, if I'm breaking above there, then I have a higher chance to continuing on in the future. Okay, but as it is, I don't know what's going to happen just yet. We could break to the bottom side and it can go even lower. I'm in a downtrend without any signs of health. I shouldn't really be buying this. Okay, if I'm in a downtrend and I haven't had any signs of health or anything to show me that downtrend is over, then I'm going to be looking to continue going down. In addition to all of that, I can see that the flow of price suggests that the oscillation is widening. Okay, so I want to be thinking tiger analysis and this type of things. That means if I come up here and we still come down and show a sign of weakness, I'm going to be looking for a very large drop. And there's still room for it to drop. And you can lose a lot of money on this. So please, I want everybody just to use a lot of caution. In my opinion, it's much better just to wait until you get your health. That's going to be your health. Okay, that's when you want to probably strike. And you're not so far from the entry. So if we're in an uptrend, I'm getting pullbacks, that would mean I would be like, yeah, I'm fine to buy. It's a good price. But in a downtrend, you're just trying to catch like a knife. All right, it's like trying to catch a knife. It's really dangerous. Okay, yes, we should be looking to catch a knife because of the volume, but the price is also important, and the structure and the flow of it. And if it hasn't given us any reason, then we got to be really careful. So that's going to be my final thoughts on XOR. I will include an image showing those prices somewhat. Okay, and then I'll take some questions and comments. All right. Anyone questions, comments, thought? You could be getting a super swing of a deal. Use caution. Not my cup of tea just yet. Right now, the earliest health is at 0.060, 100. That might be where our earliest time to strike. Alrighty, I'll let you draw your own maps, come to your own conclusions. Any questions, comments? Going once?
How low do you think you can go?
How low do I think I can go? Based on my other picture that I had, if we come back up from these low prices and hit low, we're going as low as 0.8030, which means it would even gain a zero. It's a huge percentage. That's somewhere down here in these regions. Okay, let's say we balance up here like we've been doing and we continue going lower. Now that would have thought impossible, right? But when we come up here and hit this angle and we come down lower and along the same angle, that's exactly what's happening. So if I bounce from this kind of support, but we still are not ready to go up, then we could be falling down to that angle, and those prices, if we check them, I mean, they're as low as 80. So that's a big, from right now, 7040, that's huge. That's why we got to wait for the moment to strike, in my opinion. That's just one man's opinion based on some of the data, what I see. Okay, you guys could be getting a really good deal, and it is a bottom. Okay, as I mentioned, it is a bottom, but we need it to prove itself, right? Make price go through the test, right? Put it through the ringer. See if it has what it takes. MB says, let's see, Chiabella, who runs the new MWD group, said the XOR won't be coming up, unfortunately. So please use caution. Not to discourage anyone from holding, just sharing what I hear from other sources. All right. Thank you, MB. Okay. All right. I don't know Chiabella. I can't say anything about that. All right. Anyone else? Questions, comments, my thoughts? The map XRP that I have, or XOR that I have. Okay. Still need to come into some health. Still need some reasons to buy it structurally, in my opinion. All right, let's move on. All right, we'll take a break after HBAR. Okay, and then I'll come back with those others. All right, let's take a look at GST. We'll see what that is all about. Am I dive chart? Yeah, I am. Is this a new one for me? Okay, we got GST on Kraken, 0.15 cents.
What was your question?
Have I done GST?
Absolutely, you have, yes.
Okay, maybe I didn't add it to my watch list. Let me check these two. Here it is on MEX. Okay. All right, GST for MEX. Here we go. All right, good. I got price sitting at a sword cut, 14 cents, or 0.14. Sorry, 0.14. Triple J says we'll move sky high. GST. I got a larger parabolic along this bottom track placed up here. It's going to level out approximately and 15 cents. So 15 cents is going to be my big determination of when we're going to take some profit and possibly move up. Okay, 15 cents GST. We identified buying in the volume in the previous videos. We identified some buying coming in. Okay, and that buying was in a move in health. Now the move in harmony starts. So if we're just examining just this last section, now that we have health in the background of this chart, one of the things that would help us look at the market next is we can see that in the volume, when we moved up, we had our first strong move up on high volume. Okay, and then when we had the move into weakness, it was on lack of interest. Okay, so there's the weakness, and when we came down, we're coming down on lack of interest. So they're not interested in the down move, therefore the down move is the correction. Okay, so that's the correction. This is the harmony move. Okay, that's what they want. They want the higher prices. All right, this is going to be the harmony. And this is going to be the lack of interest or the correction. Okay, so it's a very good thing now that we have health in the background and they're no longer interested in the down prices. Now, when we see that, all we have to do next is hunt the down move because we're in a new trend. We're going to be hunting the down move. Okay, prices are starting to make some of these new higher highs and higher lows. But we have to hunt these down moves, and it's great and not so hard to hunt them when you're in an uptrend or when you have breakouts or when you're sitting in positive areas. It's not so hard to hunt a move that's in lack of interest on a down move. It's actually quite simple. So here's what I drew for you guys at the time. I drew three parabolic based on some of these wicks, okay, at the time. All right, it was this wick, that wick, this wick, and we can probably adjust it a little bit more to compensate for this wick. And it's gonna, if I stretch it out and try to collect all of those, it is really gonna level out probably, I'll borrow this one, around here, okay? This is where it's probably gonna level out because that's where it starts to curve back up. Now we don't draw it all like a circle because I don't bring prices backwards. Price doesn't move right to left, it moves left to. So in my opinion, if we see prices that are able to crack or break above 0.18 cents, that is also a health. Okay, now I do have the down DP. What is this? Oh, this is the wick side. Oh, this is a great thing. This is a great, man, I wish I would use this the other day. There's teaching moments I do all the time, and this specific thing I've been teaching this past month, and it is how I calculated the low for USDT.D on January 6th, is how 2 days before it happened of the January 6th move, I saw that it was going to be going to the wick match. Now, this is the principle. So I'm going to show it to you. Remember, it doesn't take long to learn it. When we draw a core area, all right, such as the meaty part of an energy center, okay? So that means that when price is going up and coming down, this is the center of energy, somewhere around here. But there's two places we can draw our resistance. We can draw it here at the meaty part, which is what I call a core. We can also draw it at the upper part, which is here, and that is called the wick, okay? These two sections we use to draw, all right? Now here is the meaty part. This is also the core, and this section is the wick. The lesson I've been teaching you guys this last month, and with example after example, is that when we see the move from core matching the key angle that's from core matching the wick side. So if I draw the line from these two centers of energy, this center of energy and this center of energy, I get an angle like this, and that's how I got that white angle. However, the real sign of health is when we take that angle and we can match it with the wick. And if I can match it with the wick pretty accurately, then I can, like in this case, it gives me a good idea. If I bring it on wick side, now this angle might be a little off, but when I match those together and they're approximately the same angle, then I'm looking for the real breakout to be on the wick side, not so much here. That's great, but example after example shows us that the real breakout is on the wick side when they're pretty close or matching. Now this one's slight deviation, a very slight deviation, but for the most part, I think that this is what it has. Now we can confirm this more, like on the wick side, using a higher time frame, such as a monthly chart, and I'm going to do just that. So I'll pull up a monthly chart and see where that core is at. The same. Let me check the 2 weekly chart. There's a slight deviation. I'm placing it here, by the way, stretching it out. Okay. So when this angle matches pretty closely to the wick side, I'm primarily going to be paying attention to the wick side. So I'm not super excited here because we hit and we come back down, right? And that's not a big surprise because, again, the wick matches. This is the first sign of health, but it doesn't mean we're going straight to the moon. It means, hey, we can get ready, okay? The real breakout is going to be on the wick side, which is here, okay? So if I were to show this and we look closely and we say, oh, maybe that's why we have some resistance here, because it's the wick and the wick matches. So the key angle really applies to the wick side. Now you can always use key angles and test them at wick sides by taking your key angle and place them on a wick. You can do that, but it's more evident when you have 2 or more matching wicks, and we call that wick matching. So this is a very good sign that we're actually looking for another breakout coming up soon. And you're basically there. You're at the best prices. Okay, so I'm going to take a screenshot and show you this. So we go back down to now the daily chart. On the daily chart, we're already disrespecting that line, but I'm looking for the close on the weekly areas just slightly higher. Okay, everything that needs to happen is going to be very soon. So we really need some strong, to match both the short term and the longer term stuff. I'm looking at these prices there, because we're all in the area where it needs to happen. And it's only a matter of time. And one more thing, if all price did was go sideways, it's going to happen. I'll show you. If price is here and it just goes sideways, we're going to phase into health. If price is here, we're just by holding on and not having any major weakness, we're going to move into health. This is called phasing, what I call phasing. Okay, so all price has to do is hold on, and we're there. Here's the close for that 2-week chart. The next candle is, you can only fit about 1 more week in here, right? Or 1 more 2-week candle. So I would say maybe around February 3rd. The week after February 3rd, we can have 1 more week and just be a down week. And then after that, price is either going to break down or it's going to break up. By just maintaining this position, a health will be revealed. And then we're probably going to break that smaller one around 18. But the major prices are 0.14 and 0.118. Anything close to here is a good price. I already think that since the first health was revealed, we're there. We're at good prices. The next health will be revealed probably here, and then we move up. Any questions? My opinion, GST. Okay, GST. This is on my longer term bullish list. This crypto appears to be an active accumulation. That means it's being bought up by professionals. I have limited data to show resistances. However, after performing core cluster, I can see that prices may be in a breakout to health. That was back in November. Okay. This is good with buying in the background. In addition, I can see strong activity in the volume that I believe is new money coming in, and not because of the selling at the sword cut near 18 cents. Okay, I believe this may hit the resistance at 0.8 cents, which it did it. Oh, where's the resistance? Oh yeah, 0.8 cents up there. Okay, a resistance at 0.8 cents in the future, but this will need to be reread as price moves up if this crypto is to move up in this season. I am bullish longer term this crypto. Update December 4th. This crypto had a breakout. I'm expecting to click closer to 80 cent area. So it did have its breakout. Now we're pulling back. Am I scared of this pullback? No, I'm not scared of this pullback. The next breakout needs to happen. Will we get it? Most likely. All right. So not guaranteed anything in the market, but I'm going to be bullish. Okay. Let's do another update. January 18, 2025. This key angle on the core has been matched to the 2-week chart. Means, and 2-week chart to the wick side. This means that the better confirmation of the breakout, as taught many times this month, is closer to 1.018 on the 2-week chart. This means that if price simply holds position, then the second health will reveal itself. I believe this crypto will do well. So that's what I got for you guys regarding GST. I am bullish. I'm continue bullish, especially with the market still being in a very strong bullish area or away. I'm very glad this crypto is doing good. I hope you guys do well. All right, any questions, comments, my thoughts? GST. Trying to serve you guys in a good way, giving you guys some best data. Triple J says, Alba smoking, get ready for a gold rush. Okay. If you guys are looking for good prices for GST, since we already have the first health, that would be a good price, right? That'd be probably a great price. If you're at the pullback, you're sitting on a sword cut after a large break, it's probably going to be a good price. All right, but we got to see. Can't guarantee anything, but I like it. Okay. Next, XPR. Does anybody watch Dr. Mix? Dr. Mix on YouTube? Anybody watch Dr. Mix? No musicians in the audience? Nobody loves classic synthesizers? XPR, I got XPRT and then XPR, let's type in USD. That one's going to be on KuCoin, XPR network. All right, XPR hit one of its resistances here based on its key angle oscillation up here closer to 0.25. Now, this is again an interesting scenario. This is a very interesting scenario. The core is close to here on this 2-week chart. Maybe on the 1-week chart, it's a little higher. Yeah, it's a little bit higher. But the key angle is the same on the 2-week, 1-week, probably even the daily. I love those because then everything's in alignment. It's more clean, and that's a clean chart. Okay, so on the daily chart, this key angle down here is the same angle on the daily, 1 week, same, and 2-week, unlike the core on the down move for GST, which means GST is going to be more bearish or more messy. It's going to take longer generally. But when we see these key angles and they match now, a new match, we can use that new data to our advantage. All right, so this one, if we take that key angle and we placed it on the core side, which is right here in this center of this energy, we have some resistances here. And this candle is not closed. We still got 1 day and 8 hours. We may close right on that line, and that'd be a little bit bearish. We'd be looking for a pullback. But now that we draw it up here, we can see that one of these wicks is starting to match up here. And that might be an indication of another resistance we can use in the future. It's also another stepping up point in the future, and it could be approximately there. So I'm going to give you that number. In addition to the numbers I gave you before, the 0.25, I'm now going to give you this one. This is new, 0.31, and that needs to be green. So if price is building above this angle, it might be a good indication that we're going to hit up and go to our final or our higher numbers, which is closer to the 0.07. Now there's still a lot of money that's on the table for XRPT. From right now, there's still 250% that's still on the board for XRPT. Still 250%. Okay, that's good. But where are we at right now? Right now, we've been experiencing a parabolic oscillation based on this top, and that's the same angle. So when we bring up this as a key angle, a parabolic key angle, and I bring that down, I'm hitting and matching all the bottom areas, here and here. So this tells me this is my oscillation. When I break out of this area, I'm looking to hit the duplication of this area, which we call a DP projection. That means that I take that key angle that was initially here, and now I can bring it up the exact distance straight up in the air and get a good idea of where that resistance is. So this is just a drawing with my fingers, but the more accurate one that I have is actually already on the chart in the background, faded away. It's that one. Okay. So we call that DP projection. That's something we've been doing in this past year. That tells us that if we're able to do that, that this line is actually just a mid-phantom. So you'll remember from 5.0 lessons, we talked about mid-phantom transformations during our 5.0 season of sword method. Now I'm letting you guys know we call this DP projection. So I might actually be looking, therefore, if price can hold on in these areas, like it is right now, it's trying to hold on. If we can hold on here, a build up here, we might be looking for a larger move. Okay, we might be looking for the move up to 7 cents. If all I did was get prices at a pullback, I might be able to get 300%. That might be wise for me to buy XPR if I can get the pullback. Now I don't have that pullback. Right now price is getting slammed based on the wick side. Okay, getting slammed. So we're going to need to watch this a little bit more carefully. Okay, and this is about where we should encounter some resistances. Okay, I'm going to delete this one right there. We don't really need, we need that. Yeah, a little bit. All right, let me bring this into play and see if this was anything. Okay, I had an oscillation based on this angle. Okay, when I took that angle and I brought it up to the high side, or back here, I think it was on the wick side is where I had it, and I measured the distances between these two areas, it told me my DP should be somewhere here at the bottom. Okay, so I drew that DP and showing me where we should be looking primarily for a bottom. All right, now this is going to be where we fell, somewhere down in these areas. I think it was on the wick side, so we take the measurement of the wick side. But that tells me that this might be the bottom if we were to break to the bottom side. We did, and it acted like a support. All right, it's a support all the way until the health appeared. Now that the health appeared, I'm going to still be bullish. I'm still going to be bullish longer term. Shorter term, I probably want to wait until I get a pullback. Okay, but already we hit the target that we had based on some of those cores, which was at the 2.5 area. So if you didn't take some profit at there, you probably want to take a profit here being conservative. If you're a conservative trader, you may not get the maximum based on that. You may not caught that, but at least you get some of the conservative moves, which is around this 0.25 area based on our previous map. So I hope that got you in the ballpark. We may come down. I'm going to draw some arrows right here indicating what I may believe is going to happen next. Any questions, comments? This crypto, that's the wick side. This is the core side. This is a 1 week chart. I might be looking for us to come back here and then come up. And I'm going to be looking for my main breakout here since the wicks match. 30.0031 lets me know I'm going up when I'm above there, especially if I get a pullback. And right now, profits here, getting back in here, possibly. Okay. If we fall back down again, we're going back to 94. I don't think all that's going to happen, especially in a bullish market, but we'll have to watch what USDT.D is also doing. Right now, it's giving us momentum to stay bullish. All right, any other questions, comments? My thoughts on this chart, XPR, all these image nodes are meant to be viewed alongside with the regular chart. I'll zoom out, take some bigger story pictures to remind people of what we're looking at. All right, HBAR. All right, this is what I have for HBAR. HBAR, I have a parabolic somewhere around here. And for me, what that means is when I place it here at the upper areas, especially if I have two that are matching here and here, it lets me know, or two that are acting like a verification. So meaning if I place it here, this one's the verification. And if I place it here, this one's the verification right there. Okay. When I see that, it gives me more confidence that I'm actually looking at 55 cents. So when HBAR moved into health back here in November, I'm not really looking to jump off the train until here. Now there's a way that I can tell that I'm probably going to be going up to those areas. There's a few ways. Since this is our last one before our break, and can somebody tell me any way, let's just do a little bit of quiz. All right. Can somebody tell me any way we might have to determine if we're still going up, or we may be having a strong momentum to go up, or reason to go up? What ways could we determine to see if we need to jump off the train now, take some profit, or wait for the higher prices? Because our map is showing we have a higher price, but that doesn't mean so much. Are there any ways we might be able to determine that based on our chart or techniques or method? Let's see. Let's see what you guys have to say.
Go to a smaller time frame.
We can move to a smaller time frame. That's good. Let's put that in. Let's type that in. All right. Smaller time frame. And what might we be looking for in a smaller time frame? And what smaller time frame are you talking about? This is a 1 week chart.
A 1 day.
Like a 1 day. That's great. That's fantastic. Like a 1 day. All right. What things might we be looking for as we zoom into a smaller time frame? So say I zoom in. Let's go to a 1 day chart. Let's just do that right now. All right. And here we are. What indications might we be having to know that we're going closer to 55 cents up here? Is there what kind of things can we use to determine that we're going high, or what might be looking for? Somebody respond.
That was really good. Just hunt the down moves and see if it's still in health.
Hunting the down moves, see if they're in health. Some people are already drawing on my chart using annotation. That's fantastic. Somebody saw maybe there's a flat here, and they drew the DP at the flat, and there should be resistance here, and we might be looking up there. That's good. That's good. Somebody said hunt the down move. Here's the down move right here. So let's do all of the above. All right, let's just see if we have anything that indicates 55 cents. So first, let's mark our major points on the map. That's what we do. That's what I do when I'm doing my art. Okay, when I'm determining the higher story, the larger story, 0.55 cents. That one's telling me 55 cents. But I need to connect my smaller world with my larger world to know when I'm wasting my time for several weeks or when I'm going up. Okay, so I mark that area, and now I can zoom in on the smaller time frame and start doing stuff. I can draw a watch line. A watch line is based on the smaller energy centers that are in the area. For example, if we come up here, we come up here, and we come up here, these are energy centers. Do you see the pattern now? We can line those up. Let's line them up. This is what I call a watch line. So if I'm drawing this watch line, I might be using this to help me by knowing or doing something like this. I can say to myself, when price is breaking solidly, or even if it pulls back to maybe a sword cut here, that I'll be looking for that to be a sign of health. Okay? This will be a sign that we're probably going up. That one. That might be a sign. All right. And now I can do a few things about this one. Okay. I could have done and looked for my wick match to see if there's another sign of health that I should be paying attention to by moving that to the side of the wicks. In this case, I don't really see much wick matching, maybe that area, but not so much. Okay. So I'm going to be okay. Now I can use this like a key angle. And in doing so, I want to bring it to a certain place. Where do I want to bring this angle to help me measure or calculate where I should be going next, where I'm going to stop, or what's going to happen? Somebody? What do I do with this key angle? It's great that I found this angle, and it's great that I'm in the crypto, but how do I navigate? What do I do next? When is it going to go down? When is it going to go up? How far should it go up? How far should it go down? How can I answer those questions? Quite easily. Good job. Do you see what iPad drew? iPad drew it, and he brought it down to these areas here. Now the cores, they line up. So we can take that angle and bring it to what we call the lower energy centers, or the lower centers of energies, either at core or the wick. Here's the core and here's the wick. But you notice the cores line up with the exact same angle as the key. So the key is somewhere maybe closer to this angle. It might be something like that. Therefore, if price were to not break out, we would still be looking at this as the bottom. And the oscillation of price, therefore, is something like this. Price oscillating between these two types. Okay, do you get that? Price moving here and here. Now, the way I can use this to make money is if conservatively, I know that price is playing in this area. Okay, I know that for the most part, price is playing safely in this distance. All I have to do now is take that distance and bring it up top. And now I have a good idea of where price is going to go. It should be going to about right here. Now, if I'm being really professional about this, and I want to be really professional, instead of just eyeballing the distance, which you can eyeball that distance and know, and that's still going to make you successful. But if I didn't, all I have to do is simply take my measuring line and draw just something to measure the top and the bottom. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to just draw like that. And with straight angles, it doesn't even have to be straight up and down. But once I have that, I can bring that straight up. And now I can bring up my key angle again. So all I'm doing is duplicating my key over and over again. We call these phantoms. So if I was saying, hey, I'm in a breakout and I'm going to take some profit, I might be looking to take profit here and get out. And that's how I would navigate that situation. So right now, should I be buying when I'm at whatever price that is? Let's mark whatever price that was. And that's why I casually don't care about the price itself. I care about what the price is doing because the numbers change every day. I don't care about the numbers. I care about what it's doing. But I'm looking here at, looks like 38 cents. So if I was in this crypto, knowing not much about this crypto, and all I had was just this one piece of the puzzle, I'm at least increasing my odds. That if I'm buying at 29 cents, somewhere here, I want to be getting out at 38 cents. That's how I can take that trade. That's how I can make that money if that's all I had. All right. So that's something we can use. The other person pointed out that there was a flat. They said maybe actually price is responding more towards the flat. And they might be right because these two wicks are about the same area as a flat. So if I did that, is there more money on the table? Okay, now our flats we denote and we color in blue. So let me change that to blue. Now, if price is operating at a flat, where is the top? Again, that top energy center up there in the corner, up right here. All I do is duplicate this and bring it to the top. Now, it would be great if they tell me the same story, but I'm going to place this, I'm going to bring it up to the top. If I bring it on the wick side, I might be here. And if I bring it to the core side, I might be here. Let's take a look and see which one is right. Oh, it looks like both. Let me duplicate so you guys can see. I have to duplicate this one again. I'm going to bring it to the wick side, right there at the highest wick, and the cores in the highest cores, basically. So where it hit, we can see that this candle right there stopped right at the cores, but also hit right at the wick. So both were correct. So if I had just one of these analyses, they tell me that I should be looking to take profit here at this area. It also lets me know timing for vortexes, the more I catch. Meaning, in other words, these two areas happen exactly at the same time. They crossed over exactly in this season, or area, or group of areas, somewhere around the 20th, which was, the 20th is tomorrow. So when we start hitting closer to these vortexes, you pay attention. All right, now normally I would want to be bearish this now and get out and take some profit, if that's all I had. But I am not just trading this, I'm trading the larger story. I want to know what the smaller story lines up with the larger story. If the markets are bearish tomorrow, I'm probably looking for a pullback. And then to continue health, I need two things. So where do I need to go to know how high to know when price is going to go up next? Where should price sit or be in position when it's time to go up higher? Somebody show me, as a class, somebody show the class where we might be needing to be before we decide that it's going to come up. There's two areas we need to be. Okay, you got one. The one is right here, back at sword cut, possibly a pullback to there. There's one. Where's another area that we might need to be? Oh, good job. Good job. Okay, the areas are here and here. This is where I draw those little circles with the white borders around them as health. Okay, there's one more. Where is it? And that's somewhere above 0.40 cents. So I can get a nice pullback to 40 cents and come up. There's one more. Somebody catch it. Where's the other one that I'm going to be probably looking for? I don't want to look for this one, but if it happens, I'm going to be using that one. Where is it? I'll give you 10 seconds. Anybody know where the next health would be probably on this chart? It could be there. Yeah, that's one too. I didn't really catch that one. Yeah, that's one along that track. We break above. We can pull back to there and come up. What's another one might be?
I see something. If you want to zoom out, I can see how we could get higher to that higher target.
Not just yet.
Okay.
Okay. The answer is this one back here, the original flat. Okay. Just like we would come back to these original key angles, either sword cut or even spike there, it's these original flat. Okay. So if you calculate it and price is flattening, it's not super abnormal for price to go here. Now, it's unlikely we're going to fall that far, but in a bearish market, it's quite easy for us to fall and still be healthy, but coming up. Okay, so that's one of the things that we can do. So those three areas, and they might be around. So just to recap, we're looking at 23 cents area, 29 cents area, and above the 40 cents area, which is probably the strongest indication we're going higher. Okay, probably the strongest indication we're going higher. Okay, so if all of that, none of those numbers match 50 cents, right? So we need another stepping stone along the creek where none of those numbers match. So the best one that's probably going to be is 40 cents. If I'm building above 40 cents, I'm probably going to be able to hit that 55 cent target, and then I'll know. But I can navigate it play by play as it's happening. I don't have to be waiting to have a guru tell me, or you don't even have to wait for Jason to tell you. You can use some of these maps and some of these principles. Lisa, what did you see? Did you want me to zoom out a little bit?
You go back to where all your drawings are.
Okay.
Just the map we were on earlier.
Okay.
No, the one we were just doing. I was noticing the wicks were matching up. Okay, I'll try to draw it.
Yes, Triple J. Good. Now she did. Do you see what she did? I'm gonna reset
here, this wick, and then this wick, and then just put it up here.
Yep. this core angle right there where she's drawing, somewhere around here, may match those wicks, and that's a good thing. You could probably use that. If we break up higher, we can use the last event, which is going to be that angle. Okay, now I'm going to show this real quick, and then because we're out of time and we're going to take our break. I love having some of these sessions so you guys get a good idea of how to navigate some of these things live. Okay, so if we were taking the larger, just say we break up right now into higher prices, we're going to be looking back at this area and say, oh, we were bullish a little bit, and we might want to match up some of these areas. And if they match, we can use those as a bottom, the bottom side probably. If price were to fall, we can use that as a support, a launching place. We can also use the vortex here, somewhere around before the February. Here's February, so we'd be looking very closely. If we fall back, that might be a very good thing. The other thing is she took the distance on the top, and she can use that to find and calculate her next tops. So we might be still looking up here, and that is still only at about 46 cents. Still not the 55 cents we're looking for. All right.
What about at the top of that wick, the first wick?
You can use that as a reverberation. You mean this one?
Yes.
Yeah, you can use that as a reverberation, and that means if price holds on today, and just say by the end of the day we come back up to right here, you can use that a little bit as a stepping stone. Yes. But primarily here and here will be our next health and resistance, probably. Okay, so we have to look for more verifications, but these are the ways we can calculate all of these little things that are happening within just this oscillation. Any one of these analysis will do to start getting you closer to all the targets, which we have. They all match the same outcome, from what we saw. Now I'm going to show you one more, and that I didn't show you guys in the map, and that is going to be the thunder cut. Now thunder cuts, you guys remember from SOAR method 5.0, okay, and I believe I did a filming in 6.0, and thunder cuts are basically when I have times where I have an upward oscillation, and generally I have a downward oscillation. Okay, if I have a general downward oscillation, and they meet together in an area, I call this a thunder cut. Now this one was over several, let's see how far, September of 2021 all the way to April of 2022. It forms this area of centralization of cone shapes, and I call those thunder cuts because sometimes they're in the sky, and they usually denote where there's a lot of resistance in the sky. But you can also use them as building blocks. Okay, did you see that? So what is actually happening here? A reason why we still want to maintain a relative bullish position. We are rounding on top of a support. The centralization of all the buyers and sellers in that area are going to play out. They're going to be making decisions, and they're appeased when price is still above, and they're rejecting when price is below. So thunder cuts really play out a lot of ways, and I don't often talk about them, but in our lessons we cover them. Thunder cuts module, thunder cuts lesson. Okay, type in lessons on our website, you're going to find us. All right, was there any other way we could have calculated that we're going higher? Okay, any other way we could calculate we're probably going to see higher prices besides just drawing? There's two primary ways that I like that can help us use it to make money. Navigate, save, protect money, protect our wealth, help us trade correctly or in a more confident manner. Targeting. We can do targeting system, and we can look at volume. What else could we look at? We could have looked at targeting, we could have looked at volume. What else could have we done? Targeted system, we can use volume, VSA, analysis, target system analysis, volume spread analysis. What else could we have done? There was one more that I like. I usually have it on my chart. You guys don't often see it, but it's there. Anybody remember? It's momentum, RSI. It's right there at the bottom of my chart. Okay. Sometimes when I see a strong pullback and a pullback on RSI, it usually indicates we're going to have a strong, easier time going up. Momentum. In this case, not so much. But that's one thing I can check. If I was checking volume, I want to be looking at volume in this ways. Where's the harmony move? The move in harmony is when volume is going up and price is going up, and not excessively. Provided if there's a lot of resistance and I see strong up bars and up moves, there may be selling, and I'll be looking for prices to enter weakness, such as this, if there's weakness. But if the move in weakness, when prices fall back down, if the move in weakness is on decaying volume or declining volume, or meaning the volume's going down and price comes back into health, it tells me something very important. It tells me and I'll hide all of my lines to just show these principles. Okay. If price is in an uptrend, okay, which it is here. Here it's in a downtrend. Uptrend, we already proved that we broke. Okay. I'm going to examine the move. If the move is on higher prices and higher increase in volume, we may just need to cool down. That's what that might mean, because we entered into weakness right there. But when we came down and measured that down move into weakness, they were not interested. They weren't interested in dumping. There was no market down there. So therefore, this is what we call a correction. It's often a big indicator that the market's going the wrong way. So where's the right way? It's up. Okay, it's up. This gives us a big clue. We're probably going to see higher prices if prices move into health. In addition, when we did move back into health, the volume came back up. See that? It's a clue that we're probably going to continue seeing higher prices. We can catch that just from the volume. See? The move in harmony, okay, maybe we'll use. And this down move on lack of interest, which we've been using L, see, lack of interest, tells us it's correction. The real move is upwards, and this is the correction. If we know it's a correction, all we have to do is hunt the down move like we did, and then take the trade. We can be more successful or stack the odds in our favor that way. Another thing we might be doing is comparing the volume here and here. If I saw a very strong increase in volume, I'm going to be knowing there's definitely a market up higher. Okay. If there's not, then prices may need to cool down a little bit more, or they're just trying to absorb all the supply at the top. That's a complex subject, but for today, just focus on that increase in volume type of situation and the move in harmony. That's basics, and that's enough for you to get by. So from here, I'm going to say, hey, we don't have a super strong incentive to go higher, but it's looking good because the last move down showed us that we're going down on lack of interest. So we still need to go and give us more evidence that we're going higher, and we can use those other charts from a few minutes ago. Okay, moves like the 40 move, moves like price bouncing on Thundercut. Lots of reasons why HBAR might be continuing to go up, and we have to wait for those moves to happen. So we're probably going to see a move back to 29. We may see the move back to even all the way to flat, okay, as we mentioned here, which is basically the Thundercut at 23 cents. Thundercut, 23 cents. All right, let's look at some cryptos. We're going to look at JASMY, AMP, and then I'm going to spend only a little time looking at XTC. Ooh, yeah, SUIAI's image before then, sorry. So let me move SUIAI. Next, SUI. It needs to be after the XLM.
Hey, AJ.
Yeah.
Hey, did you hear Robert Robin was it last night or?
No, what he said?
He's talking about some crypto again.
Okay.
I think I heard it last night. He was talking, I think one of the coins was XLM, and he said he saw it like 64 cents, something like that, maybe 74 cents. And next thing he's seen it at $5. And then he said, looked like fireworks exploding or something like that.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll get the transcript, and then I'll send you a picture of it.
I appreciate when you do that, Wayne's World.
Yeah, no problem. I just thought of it, and I said, let me just throw that in there.
Yeah. Good. All right, with just our lines hidden, we see with JASMY that we have another move up in harmony, a move down on a strong lack of interest, but we need another held to confirm that it's not distribution that's being sold at the top, okay? We need another held to confirm that's not distribution, all right? Now, one of the things we have to do, and just picking up right where we left off before the break, using some of these techniques. This is a daily chart, so we can use some of these techniques. I want to look at that RSI. Okay, the RSI, I want to be comparing the relatives bottoms to the top, because the way that I trade RSI is different than most people, how they use or read RSI. RSI is a type of lagging indicator, but what I'm doing is primarily comparing the bottoms, okay, the bottom areas to the pullbacks. So relative to this bottom, price has pulled back only maybe about 50%. Okay, only about 50%. However, the pullback on RSI is almost 100%. In my experience, when one pulls back, generally it fires the other. So if RSI is the one pulling back, it generally fires price higher or much simpler, much easier, provided we get the next move into health, which will be something like that. Okay. If that happens, it's a higher odds that we're going to go up because RSI has pullback. You can also read this inversely, because if price is pulling back and RSI has not pulled back, then price generally will fire RSI. That's a story for another day. But just talking these basics, it's looking good for RSI right now. All right. Let's look at the chart, see what some things we had in the last story. Okay, it looks like we had a top here. Okay, it looks like it was based on a flat. All right, that's fine. We have multi-touch flat. We have some flat information back here. If this is the larger resistance or oscillation, then the duplication of this oscillation is going to be there, and we should be looking possibly up to 72 cents for JASMY. All right. Now let's see if we can read some of my comments before. It looks like I got some large buying coming in, and that move was into health. That move was denoted by a parabolic. If you guys drew the parabolic collecting all these tops, you can start seeing, hey, that's a breakout in structure. We should be moving up from there. And we have. Okay, we should be moving half. We can also have done target system, which I'm probably going to do target system today, just to give me a good, more accurate estimate now that we know we're going up. Let's see, longer term bullish, January 4th. JASMY has what has appeared as professional accumulation in the weekly chart. So let's go to the weekly chart. And if I were to look at the volume on those areas, I could have found those buying areas that we did. I'm not going to spend too much time on that right now because we're already at the end of class, but it looks like we had some strong professional buying coming in with a move into health. Okay. Now, flats are also active. Current and a new breakout is needed at the 0.08 area. Okay, so where was that? 0.4. Let me pull it. Sorry. Do not disturb. 8 was where? It was here. All right, 0.48 right at the top of this flat. Oh, it's already there, right there. Okay, so 0.48, I needed to get above there to get me to my next territory. Now, at the time, we weren't there. December 4th, we were still down. Let's see. Back. Wait, what did we get? Did we get there December 4th? Let me check. Let me check. Okay. Yeah, December 4th, we were just sitting here. We still needed a break above here. We need to really structure and build above there. And for the most part, we just only peak out of here. And then finally, what I'm going to say about this. However, if price breaks out during this bullish season, the resistance are 0.92 and 43 cents with 72 and 72 cents. So that's a huge jump from just 9 cents to 43 cents. Huge amount of money that is available on the table between these cryptos. 296% just from way up there in the sky. Okay, that's not even including the actual breakout. 48 cents possibly area. Okay, so if we were to just take 48 cents or somewhere around there and we go up to there, we're talking a lot, 800%. Okay, now why it says, is it 43 cents now as our resistance? This is going to move up along the track. So that was the prices for when we were calculating that back in December 4th. But now it goes up to tomorrow. Just say I go all the way to tomorrow's date. The number matching the track is 56 cents. Now the reason all that for that is because this is dynamic positive, meaning the longer it takes, the more money's on the table. As I mentioned here, 72 cents vortex in March 15th. So if we hit the right and stop in March 15th, I'm looking to sit 72 cents. If it takes even longer, later in the year, we're looking to hit $1 and even $2 later in October of 2025. So here is just June. So just say we're in June, the markets are at an all-time high. I'm looking for JASMY to hit about $1. Now all of that is just insane numbers, but still possible based on the DP projections of the current oscillations. And it's not, we've never been here before. JASMY was once at 97 cents. All right, now last I put 43 cents, 72, and 72 cents being my personal main target because of the vortex and the two DP projections, both the white and the red. All right, now what does that mean? So I talked to you about the oscillation that was based on this area, and we duplicate it, and it gives us the 48 cents number, somewhere around 48 to 50 cents, or 72. So now it's 56, now it's 72. But now we also have another vortex based on this area, and it's DP, or duplicated, I used to call it descent projection, but it's the same principle, so we're just going to call it DP. So if I duplicate this oscillation, and I bring this up to the top, it also gives me a track to watch out for. That's what I call the DP projection here. So that one I, again, already have on your chart, and they meet together in the sky when they meet together in March. Again, March 23. So if you want to, none of this chart stuff is new today, but I will give you a price label of the map that I built for you. And I will say that number is, let's do a call out, and I will give you those dates. So I have a vortex based on the based on my comments, shown left. The area is March 12th, 2025 area. Okay, so if price has not broken out of that vortex and price is sitting there, I'm going to be looking to take profits, get out. If price is above that area, I'm going to be looking to buy. Okay, so if I'm sitting above here, I'm probably going to be bullish, especially if I pulled back nice and easy. I'm going to be looking to be bullish. But if it's below there, I'm going to be looking to be bearish. Primarily, the structure is my biggest thing. If I was coming down, I'm going to be looking bullish. If I'm coming up, I'm going to be looking to be bearish. That's how I can calculate some of those areas. Okay, just so you know. All right. Any other questions, comments? My thoughts, JASMY. You guys, sorry, JASMY. Hold on. There we go. You can draw on the daily chart your next watch line. It's going to be a parabolic, and it's here. Questions, comments, going once. JASMY.
I got a quick question. So would you feel like now is an okay time to buy, or are you waiting for it to hit that shortcut? Right?
No, now it's not an okay time to buy. For me, I want to be probably above here on the smaller time frames. And I want to, if I don't, I'm probably going to pull back to maybe this vortex where the original parabolic leveled off. And that is around January 30th. Okay, so if I wanted to give you guys that number, the current territory is still a smaller downtrend. I'm not far from those prices, but I'll put it 0.025 vortex January 30th. Now, don't get so used to this, guys, because I don't always draw all the vortexes for every crypto. There's just so much. That's not my job. My job is to teach you how to fish. You guys can start fishing. Draw yourself. Just learn to use the parabolic tool and the straight tool, and that's basic enough that you need to get started. If you can't do neither, get an iPad or print out the picture if you wanted to, if you don't have. But if you have an iPad and a pencil or even your finger, you can just take your finger when you take those screenshots. I take a screenshot by simply touching the top and the bottom, the top part for my iPad, some of the volume and the power button. Some of the other power options for iPads are you use the circle with your finger. You're going to click the power button and the finger at the same time. Okay. If all I did was draw that, I'm going to have a good example of where I need to go. And if you draw with your hands and you're getting close to those areas, go to the area on the left and then you can see, oh, the price is somewhere around between 3.9 and 5. So maybe 0.9 to be conservative. So if I'm in here and I'm seeing prices pull back, I know everything I need to go. So as it is right now, I'm still in this territory, so I'm not clear to buy, right? That's dangerous for me. I could, but it's probably dangerous for me. So if it was me to answer Alex's question, I would say maybe we would be more wiser to wait just a little bit longer to come down. Okay, maybe. But if the bullish market hats and USDT.D takes it along with us, I'm going to be looking for prices and closes above here to probably increase my chances that I'm going to go up. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, and we can all do that, right? We all can do that with every crypto, whatever crypto we're trading. A lot of them look very similar, right? How many of these we saw today? Coming down on lack of interest. Everything in the market. Look at our photos from today. Just some of the photos. There's HBAR on the, was it HBAR? Was it HBAR? Yeah, HBAR on the smaller time frame, the daily chart pulling back. Here is GST pulling back. That's a 2-week chart, and on the daily, it was even more pronounced. There's the daily. Pulling back, same, a lack of interest. See? So a lot of this stuff, you're like, oh, I don't care about this crypto. I don't care about that crypto. You need to. Not that you need to care about it, but you need to put in effort, because when you master one, you can use those examples on almost everything, any market, because they all act the same. Most of them. Most markets act the same. All right, going once. MB says, is the gen... Oh, go ahead, Winsworld.
Yeah, what was that price just above that parabolic that you could get in?
Oh, yeah. Good question.
Yeah. Right. I see 2.5 at the low end. So these are some of the best prices. Let's get you a price note. It is going to be somewhere around, I think 2 cents, 0.24, right? And then 0.035. All right. Questions, comments, Jasmine? Let's hear them. MB says the vortex goes down to January. The January 30th vortex goes down. Yeah. And MB, in my experience, I see many times where there's a vortex that even if price doesn't go all the way there, sometimes it gets sucked down a little bit. It's usually a down day. Sometimes if there's a vortex on top, it's like an up day. So sometimes you'll see like a vortex just
you'll see higher price. My favorites are when it goes right into those pockets, you know, because that would be a bullish thing for this crypto. But there's no really guarantee we're going to, but currently in this downtrend, it's not out of the blue, especially if I take the parabolic that I've drawn and bring it down core, and if I brought it to the wick side, it's probably going to be somewhere here. Okay, so don't be surprised. All right, anyone else? Questions, comments? All right, no problem. Remember, there's no dumb questions. I really want you guys to learn. I really want you guys to use me while you have me, because the times are coming when I won't be doing Chartroom in this way. We'll do WordRoom and things like that in the future, but some of the things we do is going to take a lot different form. As you know, that we have a lot of things we're going to be doing ourselves that we are called to do and we need to do them. I want to be here as much as I can. Speaking of which, I'm not going to be here next Saturday. So on next Saturday, I'll be in transit, traveling. So I'll be gone, and I think I'm going to be arriving Sunday night. I have to check. It's a long travel for me. So it's like a 24-hour travel for me. So I'm going to be posting the schedule. There'll probably be no WordRoom that next Sunday, but this Sunday, tomorrow, 5 p.m., there is. So please join us. Okay. If you guys have more further questions, you need to get a hold of me. Don't forget to shoot me an email. I'll make myself available to you guys. I know you guys shoot me a lot of emails, and I love it. So I'll do my best to get with you during the week. Okay. If your question is so complicated that you can't put it in a comment and you want to set up a time to talk, just send me, hey, Jason, can I set up a time to talk, and then we'll make an appointment. Okay. So I got VR at Victoria VR 02 cents, 012. Our previous map for VR had resistances at 0.20 cents, and it looks like we hit there quite nicely, 0.20 cents. Okay. Our last health for VR, man, I really love our maps, guys. If you guys are not doing well with our maps, or at least the updates or your own drawings, really pull up those lessons and try to draw some of these maps, because the Lord is really helping us. We can catch a lot of these things just because we understand some of the basic principles. Short-term bullish, November 24th. I said this, we are short-term bullish. However, we are just a bit higher than current entry prices. Entry 007. So 007 was where our entry was here. That was our initial health. Longer-term bullish. This crypto has large in it. I expect it to do well in the future. I believe this crypto is experiencing a shorter-term breakout just a few days ago. We are not far away from that entry. The resistance should be around 0.020, and that may give us up another entry if we see the structure up from there. This is about 100% gain if price can move that far. I can see that the large holders have entered, and it is possible for this crypto to break out and hit closer to 54 cents, which is this area up here. Okay, so if we hit here over the year, like just say in May, then we're looking somewhere around 54 cents. If not, it's going to be even higher. It's going to be somewhere like 67 cents. So if it's tomorrow, just say price goes sky high tomorrow, we're going to hit 74 cents probably. Okay, so I'll just put it conservatively at 54 cents. Okay, now this is based on that resistance at 20 cents was based on this structures here and here. Okay, so if I draw a straight line from here, I get there. And this target was calculated by the lower energy center and its oscillation. So the DP projection, or the duplicated oscillation, is up here. It's going to get me somewhere about 54 cents along this track. Now I already measured it. I'm not going to do it again, but that's basically what I'm doing. Okay. Now I'm going to take an image, and I'm going to edit this, and I'm going to say hit, because this target was hit like the other one that was hit. Okay, hit, that's complete. So this one had an entry and it was complete. Oh, not really complete, but hit 0.020 area hit. And then I'm going to take a screenshot with the little star showing that area was hit, and I'm going to highlight that, and then I'm going to put my big star so that you guys know that if you're scrolling through pictures, this is an update to the longer term bullish list, just so you guys know when you're pulling up those maps and videos side by side, this is part of that. Okay, now let's go a little bit and use some of this stuff. Okay, so if we know some resistance for that specific day was around 19 cents, but we spiked really high above it, I'm going to be comparing volume to this angle and just see if it's telling me that there's probably a market above there. I want to look for increases of volume here and here. So our first area, I have volume that's way down here. Okay, so let me show you real quick what I'm doing. This is not a full tutorial, guys, but I'm going to give you some of these comments. So that's area number 1. Area number 2 is here when we hit along the track. And area number 3 when we hit along the track is here. number 3. Of point number 1, the volume was somewhere around really low. Area number 2, the volume was somewhat higher. And area number 3, the volume's at the really high. Really high. It's actually way up there. So what's the volume doing? It's increasing along this track. It tells us that if price moves into this area, it's primarily because there's a market higher, at least when compared to this oscillation. So the angle this may be a clue that we're looking for prices to go higher and there's another market higher. So that's good. If we're in a strong area of weakness, there could be distribution in that area. But what I'm going to say is if I look at the down move in the background, I look at the history in the background. Let's go to a weekly chart to smooth this out a little bit. I'm going to hide my lines so you guys just can follow quickly what I'm doing or what I'm reading. Hide drawings. Okay. If I just look at what's happened this year, this is February. Okay. When I came down, this may not be a secondary accumulation campaign because it was already buying in the background. But when I came down on lack of interest, except for the end. Okay. So towards this area, they weren't interested in those prices. Then at the bottom, we start getting a really strong ramp up in volume. And the move is into health. That's interesting. What was happening here? Secondary accumulation. So that's really good. They're buying. They're accumulating even more. Okay, buying. They're accumulating even more. Now, look at this move. When we're just doing a whole lot of nothing, there's a lack of interest. But they're still doing an upthrust into this area, testing that resistance, where it was somewhere over here, and there's still a huge market for it. That means the market wants higher prices. And they bought, and they knew that, and they bought one more time in here. So that's actually a really good thing. I'm going to say that's a really good thing, and that's on the weekly chart. So if you want a screenshot of that, you can. I'll pull up a screenshot real quick. I like it. So VR, good choice, Ian. Choice Ian. When we look at the volume, even just of this past year, we can see one more buying campaign coming in. Okay, go ahead and take your picture. I'm going to make sure I put the arrow to denote that I found some buying here. And you guys should too on your map. If you're doing maps like this, I'm going to say, oh, I did already. Look, it's in that. I said even larger professional buying coming in. That's what I said. Even larger professional buying coming in. That's hard to see, but I'm reading it out loud so you guys can hear. Okay, so we know that the professionals came in and the move was into health. When it moves to the side, they're not interested, but when they up thrust, it's telling us there's a huge market there. So I'm going to be, therefore, continuing to be bearish. If you have not pulled the trigger, you may want to wait till you pull the trigger, and the number this next week is after 19 cents. So if you want to buy it above there at 19 cents, you can. If we come down one more time, but it's on lack of interest, that's another good sign that they absorbed all the supply. Now, one more scary thing I need to do, and I don't like to do it, because if I find that they're buying, and they're buying, and they're buying, what's the one thing I don't want to see in the volume in these areas? Does anybody know the answer? What's the one thing I don't want to see in the volume in these areas if I compare these areas together? 1, 2, 3. What do I not want to see if I want higher prices?
No demand?
Yeah, I want to see no demand. That'd be great. That would mean that they absorbed all the supply.
Low volume.
Low volume would act like in the same way no demand. That'd be good. I want to see that. Does anybody have a suspicion? If I'm comparing area 1, 2, and 3 together, what might indicate that I'm going down and that the professionals can get it even cheaper? Even if they're buying, you tell them they're buying up real estate and you call them up and say, hey, I got some properties for $200. They're going in an auction. Nobody's there at the auction. And they know that they can get cheaper prices. What's the sign in the volume that will tell us we're going down? It's the same one that tells us we're going up. That's your clue. Area 1, 2, and 3. There's a reading we do between areas 1, 2, and 3. If I see this certain thing, I know I'm going higher. If I don't see it, I know I'm going lower. So when I flip it around, the opposite is true, regardless of a buying campaign. Okay, I'll give you the answer. 10 more seconds to see if anybody gets it.
An increase in volume?
An increase in volume. That's right. You're darn right. If I'm comparing area 1, 2, and 3, and I see the volume increasing, that means there's too many people willing to part with their crypto at that price. That means the professionals are understanding, hey, you can get this cheaper. There's a lot of sellers. All you have to do is bring it down. and they're going to come out. They'll expose themselves. So even if they're buying, they're going to expose themselves somewhere at the lower prices. And the clue is when we see an increase in volume. Okay. If I see the exact opposite and I see a decrease in volume, I know they're absorbing the supply. But in this VZB area, the areas which I taught in lessons 14, 15, 16, and 17, my monologue in 17, we know to look in the VZB area to compare those areas together. I know to look here because that's where all the volume action is taking place. So I'm going to show you, and I better put the word if, just to jog your memories. If dot. So I can now simplify volume by just looking at 3 major areas. Okay, so here's what, let's go even further. I'm going to do a 2-week chart just to give myself less candles and more volume to work with. Okay, the areas I'm comparing are going to be here, which is somewhere around this volume, right? And then here. Now this volume is decreased, so that's a good sign. But when we come back again here, there's a lot of crypto changing hands. And that's my concern. It looks great, and we're probably going to see higher numbers, but this is my concern. Especially if I'm getting slammed down here. Now, that's great. Now I have one more area to look at. So this is an indication that we're probably going to see here if they don't push it up right now. Okay, because they're going to push to see if a lot of people's market's there. And if they tried to push it and it's a failed push, they're going to need to bring it back down, again, on lack of interest. Which is nice. It can happen. I want to see that happen. Here's what I'm looking for. In a few weeks' time, if I come down or VR comes down here, I will now have a 4th area to examine. Number 4. This is 3. This is 1. This is 2. I'm going to examine this a 4th time if we get the pullback. Then I want to see what in the volume to know I'm going higher. What type of volume? Low, medium, or high volume for area number 4. What do we want to see for higher prices? Anybody remember? I gave the answer a little while ago. Low volume. Then we want to see some really low volume. If, then that means yes, time to strike. And why time to strike? Because they already showed they were buying, but now there's no one left to sell. Okay, no one left to buy from. Now they hold all the cards. They're ready for higher prices. And that's what you're going to see if this comes down one more time. Now, it's not always guaranteed you're going to come down, but sometimes when I see a very strong imbalance all in the same area, when they brought it back down, it was like this. This is the psychology that I'm going to show you. This is the psychology. This is how they felt. They bought it here. They were hoping to go up. Regular people, retail market. They bought, it came down. They were like, oh, man. But then they bought, or they were holding, and they're like, yes, it's going to go up. But then when it came down one more time, they're like, forget it. And they all put their money or their crypto in the supply area. And the professionals who are shown to buying it, they're like, thank you. And they're buying all up in that area. There are too many people willing or disappointed or sad. They're like, oh, I don't want it to go down any further. We're still in the downtrend. And then it goes up and they're like, what's that all about? Because we can see that they're buying, but we also see there's too many people willing to part with it. So this is why we keep our eye on area number 4, if we get it. If I come to area number 4 and I see very high volume, like this, and it's very possible it can happen, if we see very high volume, just like we did a little while ago, then I'm going to say, oh, there's still a market here. Look for lower prices. They're going to know that they can get a better deal. They're going to have an incentive to drive it down. And then we're going to look for lower prices. If this time if the market goes up or uses this time as a power play with USDT.D, then they don't have to really worry about that absorption level right now. They could bring it back down at a lower time, or even in the future, we'll look for some kind of bounce at those prices, years or even months later on. So right now, this is the territory you're in. It's a good find. They're buying, but most likely we need to check one more time what the data is going to tell us. So I'll leave this image where I say if, so you guys need to know what we're probably looking for. Okay. All right. So that's an advanced view on some of my take at VR. All right. I'm going to update this. Update. Price hit its target. However, one thing I can see in the macro, that means the world overview, world look, macro view, is that when comparing areas 1, 2, and 3 of buying, shown as white arrows, I can see a strong increase in this last move down. Because of the buying identified, this tells me that professionals are entering, but it also tells me, because of the increase, that there is too much of a market at 0.006 area. With today being a resistance, if price is not able to clear 0.019 areas, I would be looking, strongly looking, for the professionals to allow prices to fall one more time, back towards 0.006. What we need for higher prices is a low/no demand at that area. This would indicate that the professionals absorbed supply, or it is, in my opinion, not ready. Please see today's video. So it can break up, and they have removed a lot of the supply at the top, and that was great. Okay, and they've shown that there's a market up above, but if they know that it's going to go up really high and that they can get a deal just by bringing it down, they'll sell some of theirs and drive out all the people who are just still holding on, and they're going to get out, and then they're going to get back in. That's how it works. They can dump some of theirs to cause a frenzy, cause a panic in the market. Oh, it's going back down again. Oh, I should have sold when it was up here at 7 cents, and now it's coming back down. Oh, I'm out. I'm done. And they're saying thank you, because the regular person cannot see what they're up to. And then if they say that there's only a little bit left in low demand, that means they absorb the supply. They hold the majority of the cards. Look for them to bring it up. That's how it works. Okay. You guys can do further study on VSA if you guys want to. There's a lot of VSA books out there. There's a lot of great teachers. I like Trade Guider with Gavin Holmes, Tom Williams. They did a lot of great stuff and teachings about that. If you want a screenshot, go ahead and take a screenshot now. MB says, so volume analysis is just emotional analysis of buyers and sellers. Yes, it is. It is. Good pick. We're going to be watching that one with great interest. I would love it to come down one more time. I'm going to be like, yeah. And somebody tell me, in fact, I'm going to set an alarm for myself. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set an alarm by drawing a trend line somewhere at this bottom, maybe about right there, really low, okay? And just stretching it out. It doesn't even have to be visible. But once you see it, okay, there's mine right there. I'm not going to make it all thick, but just so you guys can see it. And I'm going to stretch it out until the vortex around November of 2025. And I'm going to click on my little alarm clock button right here and click the alarm. And I'm going to set the alarm for that trend line. I'm going to say VELO VR low price again. Check for low volume on the weekly chart. This means it's ready to rise. It's a lot like baking a cake. There's a lot of ingredients that go into baking a cake. Now that is on there, I can make it a little thin. I can fade it away so I don't think it's a trend line. It's just so that I get an alert when it's time on my phone or on my iPad. All right, here we go. If they play out, you guys are gonna have fun watching these things play out in live, because you'll be like, I know what's happening. I can see that. You're gonna get a leg up on most people. Can't force the market to do anything, but you can really stack odds in your favor. XLM. All right, this is the one you guys have been waiting for, XLM. Okay. Last I had XLM. I didn't have so many supports, but price was sitting on top of its target that was in the sky. So it should pull up in just a moment. Yeah, here it is. Here's that target that was in the sky based on our target system. It was 31 cents. The health was above 31 cents here. And then there was smaller watch lines. That's a good thing. I have some resistance closer to 97 cents for XLM. Here's a look at the daily chart. And I'll show you that watch line more carefully. All right, here's the more accurate watch line. Okay, it was here, the first one. Okay, if there's a parabolic, it was here. And these are the things I'm looking for. A health in this area, which it happened. And the next health is when we're above there. All right, so that's where we're at right now. If we wanted to draw this a little bit more professional, you can draw a watch line like here. And our watch lines are usually white, sometimes dashed or dotted. And then we have another angle closer to here. I'm going to try to collect all of this. And I think I'm going to use the wick side because the wicks are matching. And the wick match that I have is going to be here and here. No matter how I slice it or dice it, this is, whether at core or at wick, this is it. The beauty is that when we measure, the wick side key angle matches the cores. And what did I teach you this month? What did we tell you? That when they match, you're using the wick side primarily as the indication of health. So the real health is not so much here, but actually here. Okay, so you can use this angle as the bigger indication that you're in a good place. Okay, so I'm going to say that this watch line is broken and you're probably going up. All right, let's look at the volume real quick, see what we got. Okay, all right, let's look at quickly this move. Let's hide our lines. Okay, this move up is in union or harmony with what the market is doing. And we know that because when we came down on the down move, when price came down on the down move was on what type of volume? Somebody shout it. Decreasing, or what's another word for it? So we can...
No demand.
No demand. We can also look at it as, it starts with an L, lack of interest. Okay. So here's the move in harmony, and here's the move on lack of interest. So price has been falling and nobody's interested in it. So it's not really a dump that's happening. Okay. It's generally not a dump. And the move came into health here. And is that move up? Yeah, that's a move up. But what type of volume are we getting? Only a slight increase in volume and maybe to the side. So price is probably going to end up battling out here for a little bit until it makes one decision or another. Okay, that's probably what's going to happen. So in the larger view, we're probably not going to go super up to the sky today. Okay, because this move up here, the traders are waiting. They're like, what's going to happen here? I don't really know all what's going to happen here. So some of that might be an indication that's the case. Okay, now if we go down one more time, and this is our swing, right? That's going to be our energy center. We can draw a line here to look for our next area of weakness. And that is going to be a little bit scary for us because it's very close. But again, I'm not here just to pump you up. I'm here to show you guys how to think when it comes to some of these things. Not that I can think for you guys, but I can show you some things and help. So if we're really going to show a sign that we're going down on lack of interest, it's very possible that the move is going to be in a real lack of interest may present itself here. Okay. So maybe the market just needs to cool down for XLM. It's going up too much. Yeah, they're not interested. Generally, the market is going the right way, and this is a correction. But when we came back up and they're not interested, it means the market needs to cool down. We're probably going to see prices come to a lower sign, and that's going to be the next indication. Weakness, if price does not move up in this time or season, is going to appear. We're right there. You cannot keep this up forever. Even if you just draw it flat, you can't keep it up forever. If price just stays the same price and doesn't go higher, we're going to get into a weakness territory. Does everybody understand that? If I draw my watch lines, even though there's a small health here, price cannot stay the same. It has to move. Otherwise, it's going to lose momentum. And if it does not move up, this move here is going to be bad for crypto. Okay, this is going to be bad for this crypto. And it means that XLM may not go up just yet. But Prophet Robin made a video. Prophet Robin made videos about Doge, and it took several years. And he himself said, listen, I don't know the timing all that much. All I know is what I hear from the Lord. So I'll share what I hear. And then in one of his videos, he said, if I don't know timing so much, but if you want timing, go to JSong. And I'm his friend. I don't always agree with everything he says. I believe what's going to happen is longer term, but I don't always agree about the timing. If price gives me a clue that it's going to go up, it needs to happen here, and it needs to happen by when? Approximately, what's the date? The vortex is somewhere around before February. Here's February 1st. We're probably going to be looking at that needs to happen somewhere before January 27th. Sometime around January 27th, price better go up. Otherwise, it's losing its power play. It's losing its momentum. The hockey team only has a few minutes to score before the other players return to the ice from the penalty. January 27th, 2020. Everybody got that? That's a vortex.
What chart are you looking at? Like, how far back does it go? And is that a weekly chart?
This is a daily chart. Okay? Daily. Now, let me show you. Now, when I say this weakness, let's continue. If this is a type of weakness, it is not the end-all be-all. We are going to look for another event like this on lack of interest. So if I see prices coming down and I get even lower volume, that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for some low volume. Look for low volume if price, I hate that it keeps correcting my words. I need to change that. If price falls. And that's not how you spell volume. Okay? Now I'm going to duplicate this and put it up at the top for your images so you guys know what it is I'm going to be looking for, or what you probably, in my opinion, should be looking for. If price falls, look for low volume. That's good. This is good. This would be great for XLM. Okay? So that's something I'm going to be looking for if we fall. Now again, we could come into health, and that'd be fantastic. That'd probably be the best case scenario. If we rise and get up there. Okay? If I get up there, I'm going to be looking for higher prices. Okay? But prices need to make its decision now. And right now, as it's looking, it's not looking the best for XLM. Okay? Not looking the best for XLM. All right. Does anybody have any other questions, comments, my thoughts regarding XLM?
Be a good entry point.
If you're getting it right now and you're risking it for the biscuit, these prices, because you're sitting on a health, so it's probably going to do well. If the market goes well, it may go up. If it comes back down, I'm probably going to be looking for it to come back down to 31 cents. So right now, it's at 47. So anywhere around close to 45, which is not far away. 31 is also good. I'm going to be looking for those. Okay, right now I really want the traders to agree. And what is it? Triple J said not so long ago that slow, she said. And she said in December, XLM slow, maybe a crazy wick to 1 cent. I hear 11 cents. So this is probably going to do, it's very possible if the markets do really poor, we're probably going to come back to that 11 cent area. I don't think that's going to happen at the moment. I'm not expecting that to happen this time. Right now it has a chance to fight up. It has a chance to fight up, but I don't think all the traders are agreeing in the volume to really give us a clear indication right now. But if you're going to get it, this is a good chance to get it, okay? Any other questions, comments, thoughts?
If you zoom out, do we have higher targets for this? And how, it goes back to 2018. I'm not sure how far back the chart you're using.
I'm using a chart that goes back to 2008 of May. I got 97 cents, $1.73, and it looks like I had a DP projection somewhere closer to $3, $2.96. Okay.
Thank you.
Triple J, Abba spoke to mayors, 50 cents target. XLM is struggling and will have to move. We'll have a move, no time frame. Abba said to me $1.10. Updated about $5 about 2 weeks ago. And again, he said this morning to me, XLM $5 and 6 numbers. 6 is the number of man, 118. Not financial best, pray about all things. Thank you, Triple J. I'm going to copy and paste that in your section.
Prophet Robbins' transcript there in an email.
Okay, let's read it and see what he says. I would love to hear.
Also sent you a picture too. Bring the picture up first on the email.
Okay, one moment.
When you're ready.
Okay, let's read Malin. Malin says, early morning prayer today, I saw 112.03 several times clearly. I have a lot to learn about charts, crypto, and hearing the Lord, but I asked him what the numbers meant. Was it related to cryptos? I never saw anything or heard anything, but I have a strong impression it was related to XLM. Praise God. I asked for confirmation, and twice participants here brought up XLM when it was not scheduled. I didn't know of what Prophet Robin said, and hear him saying it will explode and burst out. I think someone said here. Yes, that's great. Okay, and then Raleigh said, can you please spend 1 minute through a summary of XLP analysis from today's session? Yeah, after the video, Randy, can you ask me again after the video, and then I'll show that. I don't want to record it twice. I missed the part. Don't have access to internet for multiple days. No problem, Randy, no problem. Okay, let's go look at Wayne's World. Okay, so Wayne's World sent me this from Prophet Robin.
Yeah, there's a picture first I sent just to show you about crypto.
Okay, and it says, breaking President Trump's crypto czar, David Sachs states, the reign of terror against crypto is over, and the beginning of innovation in America for crypto has just begun. The end of an era has arrived for crypto. Fantastic.
Praise God.
We are going to be looking specifically around Trump's inauguration for moves that he's going to do in regard to policy, regulation regarding crypto. Anything that he does with crypto, pay attention, because it's going to swing the economy. So if it's going to swing the crypto markets. If people are very bearish or things are not moving, it's like a jolt, right? A jolt of energy. things can happen quite quickly when everything's in alignment. So your job is to identify what's happening in the background. Is the things happening? Is there health appearing? Is the buying coming in? Is the market's supposed to be moving up and they're just moving down on corrections? Look for things like that in alignment with some of the fundamentals. Now, I don't follow closely too much the fundamentals for me because I believe most of it is already reflected in charts. But when it comes to something like very dramatic policy changes and shifts, like ending taxes against crypto, that's going to throw a lot of money in crypto markets. You want to be more bullish than bearish and looking for the pullbacks as your opportunities. You want to be hunting those down moves. Okay, so things like that. Now let's see further what Wayne was saying specifically from Prophet Robin.
Yeah, the transcript is next.
Okay.
Yesterday, I believe.
Okay, here's the transcript from Prophet Robin. Please, Prophet Robin, don't be angry at us with showing this. Okay. All right, here's it says, 2024, I saw the XLM hitting 64, but then dropping off for a little bit. It grew rapidly, and I saw it exceeding $51, and I saw 61 cents. Oh, no, $5. Yeah, sorry. $5. I saw 64 C, maybe cents, and then the high of 74 cents. And then it was a big spike that led up to $5. It was bursting at the seams. It was like it was about to explode or overflow. So I just want to share those things because that's not even all the prophecy fulfilled. So prophecy, he's talking about 64 cents, $5. Let's go back to our chart and see. And Wayne's World, do you have any questions, comments, thoughts regarding that?
I just said that. Then he said that he saw it was like fireworks. When the fireworks fell, it explodes all over it. And he said he saw it exploding.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like a firework.
Yep. And there's what is this number here? It's very close to the 64 cents number right there. What is this on this chart? 63 cents. And on some exchanges, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 64 cents. So he saw this, and then he saw a move back closer. What did he say at number? No, he didn't say. I saw dropping off a little bit, and then it grew rapidly, exceeding. Then I saw $5. So he's in the same camp where I feel about XRP, where I'm looking at some of these moves and the pullback sitting down where that $2 and $230 area as our entry, which we did. We got those entries weeks and weeks ago. And XLM had a similar move, right? Back to its target, okay, our 31 cent target. Hit that quite nicely, and that's moving up. Is this the time where it's going to explode to $5? If XRP and XLM take off, I'm going to be comparing XLM, XTC, and XRP. I'm going to say that XLM and XRP seem to have the best position, and they have the best structure, and maybe, in my opinion, the most reason to go up. But XLM may come in a quick second. And if we had some continued moves up, as I mentioned, then we're going to be looking for XLM to do quite nicely. If it cannot go up, then before the end of this month, February, I'm going to be looking for it to come down one more time, possibly to some of these lower areas or even the sword cut, depending on how high it went before the end of the month. That's where I'm going to be using this that we had. Okay, I'm going to be looking for that move, show again, to be a determining factor. Where was it? Yeah. I'm going to be looking for price to get stuck before the end of the month or break above. So it needs this, so make or break moment. And with USDT.D in position to move down, I'm going to be even more bullish the market. I'm not shorting this and I'm not discounting it. Okay? If it does fall into weakness, then we're going to look for low volume. That would be fantastic. Then we're going to look for the move higher. Okay. All right. Any questions, comments, thoughts? XLM, our discussion for today. Before I look at that final crypto, SUIA. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Lisa.
DP projection of larger oscillation. Could you do that?
I believe this is the larger oscillation. Okay. Oh, DP projection, that one? Let's see, which one should I use? Right now, I'm probably in the camp that this is going to be the stronger one because the angle has some verification on this one. Therefore, the larger oscillation is probably going to be somewhere around maybe $20, $30, somewhere around. Here's $35, something like that. I'll give you a quick look. Okay, we're really speculating high prices at this point. I wouldn't put it past the table for prices to move to where it levels off somewhere around $33. Okay, don't be surprised. Okay, if you guys want to take a screenshot with those numbers, you can. Let me save that image and I'll pull up that image. Okay, and there it is. Triple J says, XLM is struggling with 50 cents. It was one of my prophetic targets I hit. It was hitting a wall, trying to get through the wall. MB says, was your dream about XLM XDC? I'm almost certain it was about XDC. It could have been both. I need to pray about that one. Triple J says, also $12 to $15 when it crosses over. Cool. Good. Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments, thoughts before I move on to the last two or the last one?
What's the mid-phantom of that DP? Is it $5? I can't see the numbers.
Okay, hold on. Okay, what was your question, Lisa?
The mid-phantom of that DP, is it around $5, that prophetic number?
If this one right here is 28 cents. The middle level here, if it's on the Wix side, which probably is going to be, is only $1.63. And then the 32, but I don't have it in my system to do mid-phantoms for DP projections just yet. But if there was, it's around $7. So I'm not putting that in my chart because in my system I don't have that yet. But if you're looking for a number, that's around $7. Now, there's going to be more things I will reveal. We're just speculating a few moves in advance. So don't worry, we'll come back to those when it's time. Okay, no problem. Okay, any other questions? Wait, I think it was, I interrupted Wayne's World, maybe?
Yeah, I'm going to share 2 more transcripts when you're all done with the crypto there.
Okay.
From Robin again.
Okay, great. All right, let's go on to SUIAI. This sounds new. SUIAI. So I'm just going to use the MEX one. Okay. It's a little more smooth. I'm going to draw straights right now. Okay. See if I can line up all of these. Okay, let's check the cores now. The different angle based on cores. And that's okay. I'm trying to find my matching key angle to match up with phantoms. And it looks like it's going to be the cores that have it. All right. When I take these as the energy centers here and this structure here, and I place them down at the lower side, down here, they line up with the cores here. If I place them at the cores, they line up with the cores here. Either way, they can verify each other. I'm going to use this set. Okay. Based on this, you have a lower number of 0.07 cents. Okay, 0.07 cents. An upper resistance, Lydia, you're going to have closer to maybe 19 cents. But you're going to have to worry about that wick, so I'm just going to put it maybe closer to 20 because they're all in the same, they're squeezing together in the same area. If you're going to buy in, your health would probably appear when we're up here. So it might be safer to buy up there. And it also might be safer to buy here if you're going to buy it anyway. Okay, as it is acting like a resistance. If I were to put some of these resistance here, it's going to be underneath this track. So today, or if it goes up next week, it's probably going to be somewhere around 20 to 19 cents where it might struggle. But if you can successfully build above there, maybe you have a chance to go up. I'm going to quickly do the DP projection, which is going to be somewhere about right there. And I'm just going to adjust it in just a moment, somewhere around 41 cents. So let's adjust this here. And there it is. Okay, well, not 41 cents, but 45 cents. That's pretty good. Okay, so that would be the DP. If I want to label it, I can. DP. Put it on the left side. So I'll take a screenshot with this so far. All right, let's look at the volume. Actually, I want to look at the RSI. I want to see the momentum first. Okay, I don't have a strong reason to believe that this is a super strong momentum to go down. That's fine. In the volume, I don't really have much. It's weird that I have volume back here. Oh, yeah, it's because we need to take into account here. Is my chart on logarithmic? Yes, it is. Yeah, it looks like this one fell to almost nothing and then went up really high. Big gap. There might be some holders in here we're going to have to worry about. Let's see if it was actively accumulated. It might have been just because of this volume here. But I can't see. Yeah, I think it was just flatline. Maybe it was temporary restricted, delisted, something like that. But something was happening in between here. And I can't make out one way or the other what it was. At least on MEX. So I got to be real careful. Now we can use the high level core to give us a clue what might happen. And I'm going to give that to you. And I'll put this on your map as well. I would. This is where the high level core is at. And we're going to use it. I'm going to type in HLC or high level core. Okay, it's going to be a high level core we're going to concern about. And that's the reason because when it launched, we came all the way here and came here before we stabilizing. So there's some people that are very despondent here. They're going to be very angry and they want to take profit. So if they're in profit and it comes back down, they're like, oh, I'm done. It's probably going to be around those prices. The price is around 0.03 cents. So current price 12 cents, but don't be surprised if we have a backup support at that area. I'll take a screenshot for you guys for that. Okay, next, more immediate. Let me turn on a 6-hour chart just to save some time. More immediate, you're having some weakness at a sword cut. The last event, this event, so there should be support somewhere around here. Yeah, I would be looking probably right now, possibly a support. Your watch line is here, so if you're like intraday trading this, Lydia, you want to get there. And then you want to take your chance. Okay, I'll draw that for you. You want to be here before you strike. It can get you in trouble if you react too soon. This is your weakness. Based on this last event, this is supposed to act like a support. If it doesn't, it tells you a lot of information. You're probably going down. So somewhere right now, you don't want to go lower. If you do, you're probably going to go lower in price. Okay, that price right now is, again, 0.12 cents. Any questions, Lydia? Questions, comments, my thoughts, my opinion, just on some of the things I see based on this? You're welcome, Lydia. Okay. All right, the next one, XDC. I won't give further much commentary because I'm way over my time. I sure do love you guys. I'll be back tomorrow for WordRoom, our online service. I'd love you guys to hear the message. Okay, here's XDC hitting its resistance. And what resistance is that? Oh, it looks like it's a DP projection. That's great. All right. Okay. The larger oscillation, the duplication of that oscillation, where should the profits be taken? Possibly around 16 cents. So is this a top for XDC? Yeah, it is a top. It's also a decision-making point. We're going to need to see what's going to happen next, but this is the decision-making point. Now for me, you have one or two options. If you combine this with the view of USDT.D, USDT.D tells us we're going to be more bullish in the market. Okay, you guys all know what I told you 2 weeks ago about XDC, or 3 weeks ago now. I told you I moved 75% of everything I had from XRP into XDC and XRP because they were sitting the best. They were sitting on top of their support. Okay, they had the highest chances of going to their targets, and they hit their targets. There's one conservative projection that's still up at 19 cents. For me, using this to my advantage, looking at the market of USDT.D, seeing that there's still money on the table, I'm going to be bullish the market. Okay, I'm going to be bullish. Now, I won't cover this too much, but I'll just show the image on my screen so you guys have it. I am going to be looking for us to go down as long as we're holding underneath here. The problem is today, we're not yet. Okay, we're stopping right here at this 3.9. It's likely, and I'm going to show this, it's likely we may have a pullback. I'm a little concerned personally. On the daily chart, we already got the close, and we may come back here, and that may indicate we're going further down. But if I combine it with some of the things I saw today in the market, it might be looking for us price to pull back to that vortex on January 22nd or before. Okay, January 22nd week is where the vortex is. If we're sitting right in the pocket, that's our last time to strike. Do you want to lick the ice cream today? Maybe. With some of these cryptos that are at some of the top. Okay? All right. You guys want some more comments or thoughts on that one? One more thing I'm going to share with you that I didn't show in the chart. On the weekly chart, if this is still the support, this is indicating this is still decision-making time. I want, if we stop here tomorrow, 1 day in 6 hours. 1 day, 6 hours. This is going to be telling me what's going to happen next week. So somebody tell the class, if 1 day in 6 hours expires and we stop here, what does that mean for the markets? Somebody?
Bullish.
See, if we stop right there at 3 and 1 day, say it's now 0 hours, and there's only 1 more hour left, Sunday night at 8 p.m., and we stop right here, and we were watching it all at home.
Bearish.
Bearish the market. Who says bullish the markets? Who says bearish the markets?
I say bullish if it stays and doesn't go up.
I'm going to say bearish short term and then bounce off that vortex and then we're partying.
I agree. Overall, we're bullish, but we'll have a pullback maybe to that 4% area.
Yeah, possibly. Possibly. Now, why is that all correct? Here's the thing. If this stops here, I taught this a lot in season 1 of our show. The law of the hard close. The law of the hard close states that if we stop exactly on the lines we're looking at, generally the next candle is the opposite color. If this is red, The next candle is going to be for you green. For me, it's going to be white. Next week. Now, this is a weekly chart. So that means next week, this will go up. This is USDT.D. When this one goes up, what happens to the markets generally? They go down. So therefore, we got to be careful about this close. The same we called it last week. We said we're watching for that close there. And it stopped right on the line on the daily chart. And then what happened for the rest of the week? It was, or what, less of the 2 days? It was a down week or down days. Now, if this stops here and we cannot close underneath here like I want to, if this does not happen and we don't get the close underneath there, then most likely we're going to have one more move up. And the candle may be a very bad week for cryptos. And it's going to shake out some people, right? Okay, you're going to see some cryptos fall to the lower parts on their map. It's very possible. Possibly to that 4. And even really up to that higher number. I don't really think that's going to happen. But this is on the table. Okay.
You have that example right there, Jay. The 2 candles to the left.
Where?
Shows the same thing. The 2 candles to the left.
These ones?
Yeah. You see how it was red, came down to the line? And
oh, yeah. Look, perfect. Thank you. See? If we have this candle, oh, yeah, this one right here. If it stops right there on our resistances, generally the next candle is going to be the opposite color. Sometimes it's a big move, sometimes it's a small move.
Not the one I was talking about. The bottom of those candles, they're both flat there, see? And it's on that line. Do you see?
Are you talking about the wicks or the cores? Oh, right there? Oh, yeah, that's the DP projection. Yeah. That was the DP projection of a down move. We had that. It was on that one. And that's a good example as well. We stop exactly there. The next week is going to be an up week. So we want to be careful, guys, of this close, and I wouldn't be past it. When I'm here, a lot of people, it's great to hype you up. I can hype you up if I wanted to. I don't want to. I want to give you guys a way to think logically, strategically, conservatively, but also know when it's better to strike liberally. I want you to know the territories you're in. The daily chart has it where we're probably going to go down right now. But which one takes precedence? The higher time frames or the smaller time frames? Higher time frames, right? What was my biggest problem when I was 18 years old trying to map out Forex cryptos? It was the fact that I would do what I thought was a great analysis with whatever tools I was using back then. I wasn't using sword method, that's for sure. But when I used tools that was being taught by my teachers, I got whipsawed because price didn't just go the wrong way. It went way the wrong way. And I'm like, what? I thought my analysis was right. The truth is it right, but when I applied the same analysis to that higher time frame, like the weekly or the monthly or the daily, the price, the analysis, I would have saw it was telling me it's going down. And if you have 2 big fish fighting, the bigger one's going to win, generally. So we look to sometimes see when the big fish are playing. Now, they're not always playing, and that's the beautiful thing about weekly charts. You only have to check them once every so often. The monthly charts once every so often to see if there's a structure. That's the beauty. Don't get all overwhelmed. But right now, this might be something that indicates, this closed right now, maybe something that indicates we got to be a little careful and cautious this week. What might be a wise course of action? If it was me, I would say this. We may want to lick some ice cream today. I looked at some cryptos and I saw potential for pullbacks on some. I saw some that, hey, they're still, it's probably going to be a little bit. But if you do, and you get involved in that, remember, it could go and cover that distance in a single week. Why do I say that? Check this out. Look at the distance of just one single candle. The wick is up here. The lower wick is here. If you are not careful and you try to catch this wave and we hit those numbers, it can all happen in a single week. It can happen in a very short time. And people are not ready for that. You need to ask yourself a question. Am I a kind of person, you, who can sell and be willing to buy back right away? If not, wait out the storm. That's not for real. Should not be surfing this wave. Just be patient a little longer. If you think you can lick some ice cream and come back and buy again, be careful. If you think you can lick some ice cream, buy a pizza, something for yourself, take some profit, maybe you want to do. But wait till Sunday at 8 p.m. Again, why Sunday? Because that's when the candle closes. 1 day and 6 hours from now. That's Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Does everybody understand? Does anybody have questions or comments if you guys are specifically watching that angle right now? Triple J, after class, I'll answer that question. Huh?
Janet had a question.
She had a question about XDC. She said, how far do you think XDC will go down? Royal says, I'll buy you patient. Wait till next week, Royal. I'm still fasting. Thank you. I love pizza. Make sure you have my right address. If you guys buy me a pizza, thank you. I like a pizza. Anytime, really. Just go easy on the anchovies. XDC, how far would it go down? Melody's been asking me all week. Do I take profit now? Do I take profit now on XDC? Wait, hold on. Let me check. She's like, when are you going to check? I said, I'm going to check tomorrow. And here I am. I'm checking. Checking in savings. Where we might fall. Where might we fall? If it's a strong fall with a strong pullback, all the way to 76, 076, current price is 12 cents. So 12 to 7 cents might be a place. Okay, the next one, one's hard because, again, trying to catch these moves that go straight up in the air for XDC and XRP are very difficult. Okay, this wave is not for everybody. Be careful. I'm going to use my star method, okay? One moment. Here, okay? Here, 10 cents. 10 to 11 cents. XDC. I'll put notes, star method, gesture. So I'm going to be in the camp that if you lick your ice cream, you probably want to be looking for prices to come only down to 10 cents. If they're at 12, that's not a huge gap. It's not lucrative for everybody to trade that type of thing. Okay. Yeah, and it's going to be something like that. Okay. It's not perfect, but that's where I'm looking at. Okay. That's the answer to Triple J's question. Any other questions, thoughts, concerns regarding these markets that we discussed today? Okay. I'm not going to go over more cryptos now. Okay. Can you scroll a screenshot of AMP? Yeah, in just a moment. No, I don't have a screenshot for AMP. I need to find it on the website. I didn't see it. Yeah. I need to find what chart is, but maybe after the class I'll try to find it. Okay, anyone else? All right. I love you guys. Let's have a closing prayer. Father, I pray that you would calm our minds from all of those thoughts that we have when we are worried or concerned. Philippians chapter 4 tells us not to be anxious for anything, but in everything by prayer, thanksgiving, letting our requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and guard your minds in Christ Jesus. I thank you for that scripture. I pray that you would give us peace to guard our anxious thoughts. You told us not to be anxious about anything, so we won't. I thank you for the moves. If we need to take part or participate, I pray that we would do, but we would use wisdom and caution. For those of us who need to hold on for dear life, may we hold on for dear life. For those of us who need to be patient, because for us it is gambling. Or for us, we are being like a wave tossed upon the sea. I pray that you would forgive us if that was us. And if we are using sound wisdom, instruction, and just based on your leading, the Holy Spirit, maybe a prophetic, maps, or even the things we talk about today. And then I pray that you would bless the fruit of our labor, the work of our hands, to see things before we can see them. Sometimes it means that slap in the face of reality. Sometimes that's a very good thing because it moves us away from greed. And you told us in the scripture to beware and on your guard against all kinds of greed. Now, Lord, we know that greed can rear its head in lots of areas of our life. It can manifest itself and stir up, especially when we get really excited. Lord, I pray that you would give us peace and self-control so that we would not be moved by greed, chasing candles, chasing price unnecessarily, and too afraid, and guard us against fear as well. So we're not afraid to pull the trigger when the odds are stacked in our favor. As it is, Lord, let us examine the game and see our best shot. Let us understand what more structure we should do, whether it's from a price, a chart. I pray that you would make our lines accurate, make our maps accurate. Pray that you would bless us and bless the work of our eyes, that we can see things before the world sees them. We can see them as they're happening. And I pray that you would continue to bless us with prophetic information from various sources, especially within our own community, that we would be blessed and see numbers and help us for the times when prices blow and explode way past those numbers that we can calculate. I thank you. Give us dreams and give us visions, but most of all, give us peace and guidance. If you quicken our hearts that we should be prompted to move to buy crypto or take an action, let us do so. You ultimately know if we are of a skill or aptitude and ability to ride waves that we shouldn't or ride waves that we should. You even know for us if it's wise for us or if it's just wise for us to not. For some of us, it's very wise to ride as many waves as possible. But you also have to give them a greater discernment and greater understanding, greater skill. You told us in the Bible a principle about the teachers. You said not many of you should seek to be teachers, for those who teach will be judged more harshly. And when we teach, Lord, in the same manner that we take a higher degree of weight and burden on us, it comes with a higher consequence. For those who are taking a higher degree of burden when it comes to trading will have a higher degree of consequence. So they should not do so lightly. In no way you were telling the people they should not teach. We should pray about it. We should be ready. We should make sure that we are called to do it, and we should be doing it. In the same way with trading, for some of us, we need to be called if we're supposed to be day trading, intraday trading, or swing trading. Whatever the case is, Lord, guide them, lead them. I cannot do it for them, but I can be here to help guide them or help them as a consult or to show them what may be wise, foolish, maybe smart, or at least the way from I see them from my perspective. And yes, I am a man of flaws. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for helping me. And also thank you for my imperfections. Help me to grow stronger and be perfect as you are perfect. And you said, be perfect. Lord, give me strength and give us our community strength for all of these things that are coming. Help us to be at peace, even as I go on my trip next week. I pray that my trip would be blessed and that you would make the fruit of my labor fruitful. Take everybody home safely. Let them have great conversations, great peace. We love you. We bless you. Until we are meeting together again tomorrow, we bless you in Jesus' name. Amen. I love you guys. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We won't be doing charts, but we will be sharing the Word of God. I'm excited about tomorrow's message. I will be right back for some fellowship.